Good evening and welcome to KUMBTV. It is West Ham away to West Bromwich Albion tonight in a game the Hammers could confirm European qualification if they win. Well, just about. I mean, Everton would need to win by about 10 goals at Manchester City on Sunday if the Hammers win tonight. So not confirmed at all, really. But you can pretty much say it is. There is, in case you haven't noticed already, only 3 of us here tonight so far. Gnome has been caught on the train. He's been back in the office today, but he's been held back, apparently, by a suspect package. I think that might be his wallet coming out of the bar, but in the pub on the way home. But you never know. Gnome will be hopefully joining us very soon. Of course, I'm delighted nonetheless to be joined by Pinky, who is not in his usual place tonight, but is with us nonetheless. And of course, Rio, who in Gnome's absence is going to be bringing us tonight's team. So Rio, over to you, buddy.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Our hosts tonight, West Bromwich Albion, they line up as follows. In goal, Sam Johnson. In defence, we have Furlong, Ajayi, Bartley and Townsend. Line up in midfield are Phillips, Gallagher, Yokeluzu, Maitland-Niles. And making it up is Costa Pereira and Robson Kanu. On the bench for West Bromwich Albion are Robinson, Grady Diangana, Diana, Peltier, Button, O'Shea, Grant, Gardner, Hitman and King. West Ham line up as follows. Just one change to the starting lineup. In goal is Lucas Fabianski, Vladimir Soufal, Craig Dawson, Angelo Ogbonna, Aaron Creswell, Thomas Soucek, Declan Rice, Saeed Benrahma, Jesse Lingard, Pablo Fornells and Mikel Antonio. On the bench for us tonight, Fabian Balbuena, Andrei Yarmolenko, Mark Noble, Jared Bowen, Issa Diop, Ryan Fredericks, Ben Johnson, Nathan Chop, and Mido Odebeko. So just the one goalkeeper again.
Unbelievable.
Thank God for that.
Unbelievable stuff. Rio, just one change then to West Ham's team tonight, and probably not the biggest surprise given that he scored his first goal for the club last week. Saeed Benrahma back in the side. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think his confidence must be sky high after finally breaking his duck. So hopefully it's a sign he can spring on now and provide a more regular contribution to the first team in terms of output. We've been through this all season about his deficiencies, but we all know there is ability there. It's just he's got talent in the right areas into Premiership football. But yeah, hopefully the goal's going to spring him on. And it was a quality strike, wasn't it? So hopefully he should be buzzing tonight. Going to stamp his authority on this game.
Let's hope so. And of course, as you said, only one goalkeeper on the bench tonight. Are you slightly surprised to see Craig Dawson keep his place? Perhaps Issa Diop, probably not exactly chomping at the bit, but maybe a little bit disappointed for being dropped for Dawson, who hasn't really been in the best of form, has he, in the last few weeks? And he, do you think Diop perhaps deserved a start tonight?
Probably. Personally, I would have gone for Fabian Balbuena.
Okay, yeah.
Who, whenever he's played this season, he hasn't let anybody down. He's a naturally right-sided centre-back out of all our options. I think Craig is a little bit lucky because obviously since he signed that contract, his form has completely dipped. Yeah. And teams seem to have worked out. If you play the ball in the channel between our centre-backs, no, Craig isn't blessed with pace, is he? We've discovered that over the last couple of weeks. He's been caught out, particularly by Newcastle. He got quite again by Brighton. Very similar manner. So there's something to be a little bit worried about there. If teams have tweaked that already, I'm going to try and exploit that in every game.
Very much so. Thank you, Rio. Pinky, good to see you, buddy. How are you? As I said, not in your usual surroundings tonight. No boomerang behind you on the wall.
No boomerang. Well, I've gone international tonight. I'm the advanced party up here in Glasgow ahead of our visit to see Glasgow Celtic on July the 24th. So I can report that Glasgow has a light drizzle, and it does that every day of the year. You'll get used to it eventually, but no, it's I'm here from a hotel in the centre of Glasgow, and it doesn't get more glamorous than that. It really doesn't.
Salubrious surroundings in which Pinky finds himself there. We've just gone through West Ham's team tonight, Pinky. Saeed Benrahma, as we said, back in the side. Only one change also to Albion's team. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles coming into the side. Who's your big worry on that in that team in terms of, you know, who we should be concerned by? I guess Pereira really is there in full man this season, and maybe Robson Kanu turns it on every now and again.
No. I mean, Robson Kanu wouldn't trouble me too much. Pereira certainly would.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about them per se.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Randy being in goal for us, which I think Fabianski was injured in warm-up, wasn't he? Which is, you know, not great news. But in that sense, you know, I'm a lot more confident seeing, you know, that side if it's got Soufal, Dawson, Ogbonna, and Cresswell in front of it. And the key ingredient there is Ogbonna. So I don't think they've got too much that's going to trouble us at the back. I like to think we'll have a bit too much for them tonight. I know Sam Allardyce will be desperately keen to rain on our parade, and that's nothing personal from Sam. He'd want to do it against anyone because that's just the competitive nature of the guy, I'm sure. Yeah. But I think we'll have far too much for West Bromwich Albion tonight. I think Aston Villa have just done us a massive favour. So can I just be the first to congratulate Dean Smith on being the best performing English manager in the Premier League this season. So well done to him. But I think David Moyes is going to prove to be the best performing British manager in the Premier League this season. And I think it's a comfortable win for West Ham United tonight. And we'll have our jitters, maybe. Randolph flapping at a corner or something like that. But I think we'll have too much for the Baggies tonight. Let's hope so anyway.
For those of you that haven't seen already, there have been a couple of games already this evening. Tottenham, of course, beaten at home by Aston Villa by 2-1, as Pinky said, doing us a huge favour. Not so good from Goodison Park. Everton beating Wolves 1-0, which puts them level on points with West Ham. But, you know, we're pretty much at the stage now, Rio, aren't we, where, you know, we will need 4 points, you know, to absolutely confirm it. But realistically, a win tonight should be enough to confirm our place in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be happy unless we get all 6 from these 2 games. This little group of teams in the Europa League, Europa Conference spots there, they're all rather congested. I know Tottenham have done us a massive favour by choking again tonight, but it's still too tight to call. And there's some interesting fixtures have come up over the weekend. Like I said, I won't be happy unless we win both games.
Any concerns by the fact that there's going to be fans back in the stadium tonight? I think Albion are expecting about 5,500 in there.
No, not for me. I mean, it's going to take a period of readjustment for the players, but they've spent most of their lives, professional lives, playing in front of far more people than this. Yeah, and they had a little bit of experience of it just before Christmas, didn't they, with that one game that allowed it to come through. So there's no fear. It's just nice to hear fans in the ground, even they are like baggies. They speak in a funny accent.
Yeah. What do you make of that, Pinky? You know, first time West Ham have played in front of a crowd since the Manchester United game. And of course, that was at the London Olympic Stadium. Any worries?
No, none at all. And I think it's a welcome return for supporters. You know, clubs very often hide behind slogans like "football without fans is nothing." Yeah, and then they treat the supporters like dirt. You know, moving fixtures to all sorts of strange kickoff times and days of the week and months of the year. So, but to supporters, you know, it's a very big part of many people's lives to watch their team play. Yeah, I'm delighted that the Baggies fans have got in tonight, and I'm even happier that our club will admit supporters on Sunday afternoon. So that's me basically saying I'll not be here on Sunday afternoon because I got a ticket, so I was lucky. So I think it's a welcome return for supporters. Our players, I mean, you know, Declan Rice is just leading the boys out. Player of his calibre, you know, Aaron Cresswell. These are international footballers. These are top draw players. You know, they want to perform in front of people. The crowds don't worry them; they welcome the crowds. Absolutely, they welcome them. And tonight, I think we might just turn it on a bit. I'm feeling really confident this evening.
Okay, well, let's find out. It's about time to find out to what extent you think we're going to turn it on, because we're going to do our pre-match predictions. So, Pinky, you may as well go first.
Okay, well, I'm going 3-0 to West Ham.
Oh,
okay. I think we've got enough in the tank. I think we'll have a better showing from Antonio this evening.
Yep.
Side Benrahma. Hopefully that goal, which was a cracker the other night. Yeah, let's give him praise because we've given him plenty of stick. Hopefully his confidence will be sky high. And yeah, I think we've got plenty. And West Brom, you know, Sam will stoke the flames a bit, but they're down. They're down. They've got a losing mentality. They're down there for a reason. And the reason is they're not very good. And you know, if we have genuine aspirations of conquering Europe in the coming months, which we do, and you know, typical West Ham, the rest of the country leaves the EU, we want to go into it. You know, counterintuitive as ever. So for us tonight, 3-0, comfortable win, and I think we can put to bed the jitters, and then maybe in front of our own supporters on Sunday, really turn on the style against Saints. That's what I'd like us to do.
Excellent. So 3-0 for Pinky. Rio, what are you going for?
I'm going for a nervy 2-1 victory. I just think we've had a couple of stretchy performances in a row, but we'll turn it on. Then consider late goal. Go for the jitters that we've had many a time this season. Defend and hold out a lead for the last 10, 15 minutes or so. But yeah, 2-1 win tonight.
Okay. I think that in typical West Ham tradition, we're going to make it really hard for ourselves, and I can see us dropping points here tonight. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I think we're going to lose, but I think it might we might emulate what we did at Brighton the other night. I can see this one ending in a bit of a stalemate, maybe 1-1. I'll go for tonight, but a nice touch there. Look, David Moyes and Big Sam having a little cuddle on the sidelines. No masks. Kevin Nolan, also, of course, his old mentor. Getting nice and close and personal, but good to see Sam with a big smile on his face. Maybe he's just been told he's getting a nice payoff when he leaves the club at the end of the season. Assuming, of course, he does. We don't know that. But Rio, is the game underway for you?
Yeah, 24 seconds in at the moment.
Oh wow! So I'm a long way behind because they're just taking the knee. Pinky, are you up with Rio or back with me?
And Marco Antonio's on goal.
Oh, it's
is that pen? It's a pen.
Yeah.
We've got a penalty.
Right.
Well,
Incredible, Rio.
This. I haven't even kicked off here yet.
Well, Rio, it's all down to you then, buddy. Take us through it. What happened?
I missed the start because I was talking to you. But as I looked back up to the screen, there was a loose ball, I think, from a Baggies defender. And Antonio run onto it. The virtual one-on-one. They're just going to show it again here. Where it's charged. Yeah, a very loose back pass. Antonio caught onto it. Had one man to beat, which he did. But Sam Johnson, as he tried around him, brought him down. And it's a booking for Johnson. Yeah, definite penalty. Kind of body checked him as he tried to go around him. So early doors, we got a penalty.
Absolutely unbelievable. Well, we'll stick with Rio. We'll stick with you for the penalty, as you're the only one who's live, as it were. So take us through it, if you will.
Okay, I'm waiting to see the camera pan back to see who's going to actually take it for us. And it's Declan Rice, the return captain. I'm slightly more confident I would have been with Jesse Lingard. So Dec steps up, taking a couple of deep breaths. Here we go. Strides up. Ooh. And hits the post, and we missed it.
Oh,
Dec.
Unbelievable.
Put it to the left. Hit the post. And after such a early penalty, we had to make that count and put a little bit of confidence on the ball. And Declan strikes the post. Low then. Bring back Jesse Lingard. All is forgiven.
Absolutely incredible scenes at the Hawthorns. 36 seconds on the clock when Michail Antonio was tripped by Johnson and the penalty was given. But I mean, I'm just watching it now. Rice struck it well enough, hasn't he? Low to the left, just too far to the left. Pinky, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but yeah, it's rebounded off the post. Not even a kind rebound.
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, what I can say, it's an absolutely stonewall penalty, so there was no doubt about that. But you know, I'm miles behind you guys, so you know, Johnson isn't even on his line yet. So maybe there could be a different outcome. Yeah. I
Well,
used to do this back in the day. I'd actually, when we lost a game, I would actually go home and watch the game again. You know, so I'd have been to the match during the day. And if we lost, I'd actually watch the rerun on Sky in the belief that the result could be different. That's how bonkers you can get as a football supporter. But no, I mean, I'm looking at him here now. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. You know, yeah, he struck it well enough. He was just an inch.
too well, Papes.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It happens.
It does,
So,
and it has. And it's happened to West Ham in incredible start. As we said, 36 seconds, penalty awarded. Rice hits the post in the second minute. Rio, perhaps Declan warming up for the European Championships. What do you reckon?
Let's put it this way. He's probably knocked about £1 million off of his transfer fee. So it's not good news all round for West Ham United there.
No.
He's never struck me as a natural penalty taker, but when he has taken them, he's really surprised me, and he's been successful every time so far, I believe. But yeah, it's just one of them things. But we've just been on the attack again. Deck playing up in midfield, strode through. Nice little interchange of passes with Syed Benrahma, but it panned out to nothing. But we've got to go back on the front foot. We've got to take the game then. There's nothing to be frightened of. We've just got to get refocused and go for it again.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I want to just take you back a bit, actually, Pinky. Just before we got the penalty, did you see that ball down the line? It almost looked like it was David Moyes mind walked it, because it appeared to be going out of play, and it somehow curled back along the line and stayed in. And of course, we had the back pass. I don't know if you saw it, but it was it's incredible.
that's exactly what it was. It was David Moyes thought it. Yeah, that's what he did, and that's why he will be the top British manager this season, because he has that particular skill. What are you on about, you complete numpty? Yeah, you know. And I just want to give a quick shout out to a few lads watching in the bar downstairs. Yeah, so to a different Stephen Page, not the one that normally tunes in on the YouTube channel, but Stephen Page that works with me, and Ojo and Gary. Gary's a Chelsea fan, so we don't talk to him very often, and sometimes we make him eat at a different table, because you would do, wouldn't you? So yeah, so they're watching down there, because for their sins they're also in Glasgow. But you know, we're clearly already in this game having the better of it, and for my money, just keep calm, get control of the ball, and just put West Brom to sleep. And that's the job here tonight. They have no real interest in this. If you had been relegated, would you risk a broken leg in a challenge that might see you unable to play for a year? You're not as committed. You're just not as committed, and we should dominate here tonight.
On a serious note, Rio, psychologically, I mean, you'd think that must give Albion a boost, having conceded a penalty so early and then seen it missed. I mean, it's certainly got the fans, going. I've got the sound turned down, obviously, because we're talking to each other. But did you think that affects the game in some way? It sort of hurts West Ham, perhaps.
Well, to be honest, if we'd have tucked that one away, it would have been a massive psychological boost for us, wouldn't it? Starting fans early on, getting our noses in front, kind of settling out any kind of nerves that we have. But we've all seen it before. When the team misses a penalty, it does lift the fans up, doesn't it? It gives them something to spur on and something to cheer about. Yeah. So, we haven't seen nothing really come of it yet, but it's going to be perhaps, because it was so early in the game, it might not have that massive effect. But had it come a little bit later, we all know what it's like when you're in the ground and you're spurring team on victory, and someone misses a penalty and you get right on it, and the stick flying about everything. But I think it's probably a little bit too early for it to make a massive impact on this game. As I say that, West Brom have got a throw in deep into our half. Launch a long one into the box. Flipped on, and a header on goal, and Darren ran off comfortable save in the end. But Pereira got a little flicked head onto it. No real power, so it's pretty easy for Darren round off in the end.
For the benefit of those who joined late or hadn't seen the news, Lucas Fabianski was due to start the game in goal this evening, but not for the first time this season, injured himself in the warm-up. We understand it was a knee problem, and consequently Darren Randolph has taken up the gloves and he's between the sticks. 7.5 minutes gone on my stream, about 3 minutes gone on Pinky's stream, and probably half an hour gone on Rio's stream. But it is, I believe, still West Bromwich Albion, Neil, West Ham United. Neil, I'm just seeing that ball launched in for Pereira and a fairly comfortable save for Darren Randolph. But yeah, it's West Ham, of course, have missed a penalty. Michail Antonio failed after just 36 seconds by Johnson. And Declan Rice stepped up to take the penalty, hit the post. There you go. Pinky, we do seem to hit the post an extraordinary amount of times, don't we? Especially this season.
Yeah, and such is the precision that's required at this level. You know, I mean, you're not scoring many if you hit it straight down the throat of the keeper. You've got to make the keeper stretch a little bit, and you know, such are the standards that you're out by an inch or two, and that's the difference. And yeah. But the fact that we're hitting posts means at least we're creating opportunities generally. You know, so I've been quite happy with the way we've played generally this season. I know a lot of supporters would prefer a more possession-based game, but I think quite a few teams have gone sort of the counter-attacking style because, frankly, that's when you'll see space on the pitch. And when the opposition have poured too many men forward, you can get in behind them. There's a bit of space, you know. And how many times over the years have we seen us commit too many players forward and give away the crucial goal in the last minute? Yeah, and so, from my perspective, I'm happy that the boot's on the other foot for most of this season. You know, and hats off to David Moyes, really. I mean, he's worked with the threadbare squad. We touch on it week after week. Here we are, you know, what was confirmed, last night was it, that we could no longer qualify for the Champions League at this stage of the season?
Yeah.
You know, a manager that's spent relatively little, really. He's done a very, very good job, and so have the players. You know, the players, I think, this season, it seems to have been a very happy squad. You know, the disruptive influence, such as it was in Seb Haller, was moved on. We've done well. Good season. And if we could just finish it off with 2 wins on the bounce, to cement that place in the Europa competition and all of Europe, I just know they're desperate to see West Ham. And more importantly, the West Ham United supporters to turn up all over Europe. I mean, we've been welcomed in Paris, Berlin, Rome, you name it. They will have the banners out saying, "Welcome, West Ham supporters." Yeah.
You just know it. You just know it. Well, we can welcome a couple of West Ham supporters of our own now. As you have probably seen by now, we are 5 strong for the first time in some considerable time. Gnome is in after being subjected to a suspect package. And we are joined by the man himself, DL. He's back. How you doing, gentlemen?
After you, DL.
DL, you're on mute, my friend. You'll have to turn that off if you want us to hear you.
I'll stay on mute, DL.
You're muted.
Former IT expert, DL.
Turn your mic on.
Hello.
There you go. There you go. There you go. How you doing?
Oh.
So, don't know how long I'll be here for. Oh.
Now,
from Benny. Good save by the keeper.
let me just enlighten you, gentlemen. If you've just got in, I don't know if you saw it.
I've
okay.
seen everything.
Oh,
I've
right.
seen
Okay.
everything, Graham. I was
Where have you
sitting there
been?
saying that, waiting. It said the host will let you in soon. Obviously, some definition of the word "soon" of which I've been previously unaware. But yeah, I saw the penalty. I saw the miss.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, we've just seen
couldn't believe that.
another
Rice
cross going to the box for West Ham. Nothing coming of it. But and then, of course, followed up by a really decent effort from Ben Rama. Rio, it's another one of those dips from outside the box. This one, the last one, of course, going in the back of the net. That one's just tipped over. I think it might have gone in, actually, if Johnson hadn't got to it.
Yeah, very much so. It was good strike again. As we said before the game, that his confidence must be flowing, and that's a really good dig. Good save by Johnson. We're just about to take the corner now. A bit of jostling as per usual in the penalty area. Antonio's getting almost sexually assaulted there. Hits the back post to Antonio Bonner and comes to nothing. Yeah, it's good strike by Ben Rama. He made a late pass a couple of minutes beforehand, which I think would have set his confidence back a lot if West Brom had capitalised on it. But no, good response. He's gone back forward, good strike. Thought it's good save from Johnson, and he's the one I'm worried about really because he's been such a great form for West Brom this season.
Yeah,
he's I've got no doubts about us piercing their back line on a regular occasion. It's getting past Johnson tonight is the key for us.
Yes. As you say, we just saw the corner coming, didn't come to nothing. But I should ask the two new arrivals for their predictions. I guess we can still do it. It's still 0-0, so it doesn't count. Dia, what about you first? What are you going for tonight?
What am I hoping for? I'm hoping we win. Bit of a cagey start, isn't it, really? If that had gone in from Rice, I think it would have ended up being a cricket score. But, it weren't good. He's no Mark Noble on a penalty, is he?
No, he's not. What's your prediction, buddy?
My prediction, well, I think we're going to sneak it. One goal win.
Okay.
So that's likely to be 3-0 loss.
Okay. So what are you going for? 1-0?
2-1.
2-1. 2-1 win.
I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. Randolph's rusty. Or Randolph's Randolph, isn't he?
Randolph is Randolph. Yeah, we'll hopefully keep those deep, long crosses away. No, what do you reckon?
I was going to say 2-1 as well. It's got a 2-1 feel about it. Although we can't afford to keep missing bloody penalties.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a point you've raised or not, but you're talking there about Johnston, Rio. Do you think he made an attempt to play the ball there? Because if he didn't, that's a red card.
What's that for the penalty?
He made no proper attempt for the ball. It was just a blatant body check.
Yeah.
But
and then
first minute of the game, fans back in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But putting your hands up in the air as if to say, well, it was only an accident, and that's what he was arguing. Just wrong. Red card all day long.
Yep. Any other time of the game, it would have been a red card, I reckon.
Yeah.
Referee was a bit lenient there.
I'll make that about 3 minutes known tonight.
I didn't say it. I didn't mention who was responsible for it.
For not giving a red card.
It was only
perhaps it was the groundsman. Well,
it was only 3 minutes in. You say 3 minutes, but it was only a minute and a half before he made a very big blunder.
There
punch from Randolph there.
There it is.
We need to wake up.
Yeah, it's all gone a little bit quiet, isn't it? So, Pinky, we were saying that might affect West Ham negatively psychologically. What do you make of it? We're 15 minutes in now, still no goals, but have you seen sort of, West Ham look like they're shell-shocked, I suppose, in a way at all from missing that penalty?
No, what I'm seeing is 4 blokes on the chat board, who are to the core West Ham United supporters in terms of negativity, nervous Nerries. Yeah, I mean, get off your knees, lads. We're winning this. We're going to win this tonight. Let's not be having all this doom and gloom and
That's
gone and all the rest of it.
Yeah, there is 4 predictions of victory. To be fair, Pinky. Can I just say we've just seen a bit of a flat from Randolph getting back to the game. DL, this is the thing we're worried about, isn't it? With Randolph, he's a bit of a Dracula and all that, scared of crosses. And there it was again.
I don't know. I thought that was a good. What are you talking the punch out that Lingard running onto?
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good actually. I didn't think it was Flapiansky.
Okay.
I thought he meant that. Maybe I'm being a bit too generous.
No, maybe
in my newfound freedom and the goodwill that I seem to have for people. It ain't coming naturally.
It won't last. It won't last. It won't last.
That wasn't a flap. That was Randolph punching it out. He was getting an attack going quickly. You just see what you want to see from your screen. Yeah, I see it how it is. Yeah, I mean, that was a devastatingly quick distribution of the ball.
I actually did think
he was getting it forward quickly.
All right. It looks like I'm outnumbered on this one then. So a perfect piece of goalkeeping from Darren Randolph. No, good to see you. Randolph, of course, Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. That's fine. 17 and a half minutes gone on my screen. It's still West Bromwich Albion, West Ham United, and West Ham missing a penalty. Gnome after 2 minutes. What did you make of Rice's effort? Do you think he was just a bit unlucky, or had struck it too well, perhaps?
No, nobody should be off target from 12 yards. Simple as that. No professional footballer should. I mean, yeah, you get keepers saving them, but nobody should actually miss. Simple as that. And we've not been very good with penalties in the absence of Noble, have we? When they've gone in, they've just gone in. Keepers almost saved them, that sort of thing. Who would I give them to? I mean, fair play to Rice for stepping up to the mark, but you want somebody who can put their foot through it. And
this is a bit dicey, this,
Sorry, was that, mate? Sorry, DL, mate, you said something there. I didn't quite catch it.
I think he said it's a bit dicey.
All right. Oh,
I'm not sure what he was talking about.
Well, at least the ball's going in the right direction this time.
Yeah, Soufal doing his nut there because he played a very good ball played to him, in the box. Lovely chip ball there. Played it across, and he's doing his nut that Souček and Antonio weren't getting their foot on the end of it. But we got a corner, and it's the second one I've seen without that stat so far. So unless I missed one earlier on, we're still missing the stat. So I'll just wait for the corner to be delivered now. The commentary's mentioned it in the background. Corner comes across. Ogbonna gets on the end of it. Overhead kick there from Dawson. Optimistic and cleared away for a throw in.
Can we? Can anyone remember the last time we scored from a corner?
Against Arsenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've scored so many goals this season; they're all merging into one.
That's Rio. The overhead kick from Craig Dawson just a few moments ago. Talk to me about his technique there.
Picture this, people. If you ever walked across a slippery night before, end of the night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, when there's lager swamping that shiny dance floor surface,
I hear you.
You hit that one little sweet spot, and all of a sudden your legs go a 360-degree angle, flying into the air, and you've got 4 or 5 bouncers who are trying to clear you out about 10 minutes before and just looking at you and laughing. Yeah, it was a nightclub effort by Craig Dawson. Fair play. No, he did well to get his leg over like that, but he did look like he just fallen over and spilt his pint.
I'd
add to that. Sorry, Pinky, go on.
That's why the trained professional would only drink in the Wakefield, because the carpet there you would stick to. It's a slip-proof safety device that it had in the day.
Yeah, I think that was more like the tuxedo princess that used to be moored up in the time with the revolving dance floor at the bottom. But anyway, 22 minutes gone. It's West Brom 0, West Ham United 0. West Ham have, of course, missed a penalty already. Done a favour earlier in the night by Aston Villa, who went to Tottenham and won. Everton did, of course, win, which puts them level on points with West Ham. But the Hammers still know that 4 points will absolutely guarantee a place in Europe next year. 3 points almost certainly will, because Everton have got to go at Man City and win heavily on Sunday if West Ham win just once. But, we're making hard work of it at the moment, Deal, aren't we? We've just seen the shot from Albion flash wide of the post.
Yeah, we're making very hard work of it. We're huffing and puffing and we're blowing out of our bottoms. I really, really want us to win this game, because after Spurs is lost tonight, there is every chance that after the next 2 games, they could actually finish below us and Arsenal. And what an end of season that would be, considering they won the league in November. it'd be glorious, just glorious. And then Harry Kane leaving as well. It's you just love to see it, don't you? Really see him implode. I'm not going to try and gloat too much because obviously we've got to win this yet. But that's what's on the line. Us and Arsenal finishing above Spurs and them losing Harry Kane at the end of the season. Glorious. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, Tottenham, of course, got a very tough game themselves on Sunday. They play Leicester in their final game of the season. And, you know, it's a point here, of course, for West Ham would mean that we'd only have to better Tottenham's result on Sunday to finish in the top 6, which I think Gnome would, you know, all things considered. We did think for a moment we might be in the, you know, in the top 4 qualifying for the Champions League. But, you know, if anyone would have offered us top 6 at the start of the season, I don't think anyone here would have, you know, objected to that, would we?
Of course not. No, of course not. It sort of vindicates my policy, if you like, of not really giving the top 4. We'll come back to you because West Brom well, it's been snaffled out a little bit, had an attack there. But look for a second that they got the wrong side of us, but ball down now on the goal line, pulled back. Cross comes in, deep cross, and Stufel deals with that nicely. Fornals tries to head it on, but misses it, but picks up the ball that he didn't head. And that's well played by Antonio, held the ball up, squared it. And now Rice can actually break into the West Brom half. Plays out wide to Lingard, who gets the cross in, but it's blocked and cleared very untidily away by West Brom for a throw-in.
Three balls by Lingard on the trot that he's given away. He's playing atrocious tonight, and personally, I'd up him at half time if it carries on, because he ain't at the races, is he?
No, well, he's not been himself, has he? For the last 3 or 4 weeks, there's been a few question marks, hasn't there, DL, about his form of late, having you know, sort of come in and been on fire, wasn't he, for the first 6-7 weeks of his time at West Ham?
He was. He's I think the adrenaline's run out. He's either carrying a knock, he knows he ain't going to be here, and he just ain't trying. He's trying to do too much with the ball. He's not playing the simple pass. He's trying to play the the Hollywood ball, and it ain't coming off for him. He needs to just settle it down and start playing the simple ball, because three passes in a row, he's bolted up, and you can't do that at this level. Not when you need him to win a game.
Pinky, Albion beginning to find their feet a little bit now in this game, and sort of the longer it goes on, you know, without a goal, you sort of, I suppose, we're getting a little bit more concerned. But you're still happy with what you've seen from West Ham so far?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a Premier League game of football. You know, the opposition are allowed to play as well, and you know, I think that'll actually help us raise our game, because sometimes if the opposition aren't doing very much.
Oh no!
That's their level.
For Christ's sake!
I've just detected that we may have got a far behind.
That's direct from
what looks like straight from a corner.
Sounds like it's all gone a bit Roberto, Rio.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the replay of this, but Pereira took the corner. Randolph's coming out to punch. The replay's just coming out so I can clarify. Curling into the near post. Souček went to go, missed it. Randolph.
He's got right in the way.
Wasn't in Roberto territory. Roberto had the decency to actually punch the ball in his own net. Souček's got a little flick there, but yeah, Darren Randolph was nowhere near that. And we just panned to the stand, and Sam Allardyce is rather chuffed, let's put it that way.
We have a goal. It's in the wrong end, unfortunately. And as you see, was it a flick? Did Souček get a touch on that? I mean, the way he's reacted, he has.
He faint touch.
It's a strange one. It's one of those where, you know, I mean, no, it looks like, to be fair to Randolph, I know we always say he's a bit iffy at crosses, but, you know, to be fair to him there, it looked like he had it covered. He was going to punch it clear and just taken off him by Souček. But, you know, surely there's got to be a call from the goalkeeper in those circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, he shouted for it. But then what's Souček doing there? He's just completely unsighted him. It's
I
just
mean,
the balls
yeah,
up, isn't it?
it
Let's
wasn't one that
face it.
Randolph should have been calling for in any case,
Yeah.
because he had an opponent right in front of him. So if he calls for it, Souček ducks. There's a good chance that's going in anyway. I mean, it's what we've said over the last couple of weeks. Those in-swinging corners can cause us problems. Doubly so when you've got Randolph in goal, who's not the greatest of keepers in dealing with that sort of thing. So
Right. Well, hang on. I've just seen this. That is straight out of the Kevin Nolan scrapbook. That is. Yeah. Watch the number 10. Watch him pile into Randolph. Yeah. That is a set move by the Baggies. Allardyce knows exactly what they've done there. That should be disallowed. No way is that a legitimate goal. That's a deliberate foul on the keeper. And that is bloody outrageous.
I thought he just stood his ground.
He's moved. He's barged the keeper there, and that's a Kevin Nolan classic. Yeah,
I'd like to see it again, Biggie. But anyway, corner of West Ham swung in and cleared away from underneath the Johnson, the West Brom goalkeeper. West Ham now looks to come again. Soufal plays the ball in, headed away by West Brom out to Ben Rama on the left-hand side of the box. Blocked from the fullback. Fornals, lovely ball by Fornals, didn't press well.
Player. Hook him.
Deal, you're not feeling the Lingard loving tonight?
No, not really. He needs to clear his first man. He's just wasting it.
Yeah.
We know he's got the ability. And that's what I think I'm finding frustrating, that he's got the ability, but he ain't clearing the first man. He's just kicking it at their players, hoping for the best. Not at this level, mate. You're not over the park.
We are a third of the way through the
West
game.
Ham on the right-hand side. Again, Rice forcing the corner out there. Cresswell's gone over there to take it again. Come on, show the stat and we might score.
Hobo agreeing with Pinky. Hobo Chamber on YouTube chat saying, yes, I'm with Pinky. It was a foul on Randolph. So I think we'll all need to have another little look at that one again at half time just to see that. But a good spot by Pinky, of course. So we'll have a look. We are a third of the way through the game. It's still going wrong at the moment. West Ham have missed a penalty and we're a goal behind from an effort direct from a corner. Darren Randolph in goal, of course. No Lucas Fabianski tonight, who was injured during the warm-up again. Doing his knee in on this occasion. But Rio, it's all going wrong. What's happening?
I'm just about to take the corner, flicked into the near post. Everyone misses it. What's going wrong tonight? We just look completely disjointed. There's too much. Like Ben Rama's kind of retreated back into normal Ben Rama. We've seen most of the season. Apart from that one shot, he's delivered very little at all. The DL said Lingard is going for the Hollywood ball at every single opportunity rather than using his ability and his intelligence to thread the ball through properly.
Yeah.
Just everyone just seems to be off form and a bit panicky. At the start of the game, we looked quite frightening.
That's not a foul, mate. He's not barged it at all. In fact, I'm not even sure he's touched him.
Medellin Hammers just spotted that I was doing a bit of ear cupping earlier. Yeah, that was a personal Allardyce tribute I just slipped in there when they got the penalty. Yeah.
Yes. No doubt Big Sam will be delighted. Already going down. Of course, Albion doesn't mean anything to them in terms of how their season pan out. They can't finish bottom of the league now, of course. But if they do win tonight, it will, of course, push them above Fulham. So 18th rather than 19th. I don't suppose it means an awful lot. But, yeah, we're just seeing the goal again. No, you're not having it, no? I think that's a perfectly
I don't even think
goal.
he touched it, to be honest.
Okay.
He stood there. He's near him, but he got barged in. You've gone soft, Pinky.
Well, we've just seen a shot on the sidelines of Lucas Fabianski looking very forlorn there. DL doesn't look happy at all. Probably thinking I would have got that if I was in goal.
Well, to be honest, the season he's there with some of the mistakes he's made, there's no guarantees, is there, really?
Not at all.
No guarantees at all. I do feel sorry for him. Keeper's got to be a priority in the summer, I think.
You think so? You've replaced Fabianski?
Yeah. We've got all these decent players, Antonio, Fabianski, and they keep breaking. And it's underneath them, there's absolutely nothing of anyone that's even close to their ability. And you can't go through a season like that at all.
Free kick to West Brom right in the edge of the box. One diving in there, beaten by the turn. But it's just bundled him over. Free kick, so just outside the box. That's who's that gone down?
I think we should tweet Lucas Fabianski and invite him to join in the "when your body starts to fail you" thread in the snug. Yeah. You know, he could put a couple of comments on there, and maybe Mickey Antonio could join in as well.
Yeah. First yellow card of the day to Angelo Ogbonna for that foul on the edge of the box. Was it Robson Carno, I think?
In the game, because their keeper got cooked.
Yes, of course he did.
Yeah, that really should have been a red, though. Free kick played straight into the wall. The rebound comes out, and great save.
Well done, Darren Randolph. Great save.
Yeah.
Yes. Brilliant save.
Even better because it actually flicked up off Cresswell, who was on the floor there. And fine save that one. That's what Randolph can do is a shot stopper.
Yeah.
Oh. Dangerous cross in there. Sufo deals with it well, goes out for another corner.
We're living dangerously.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, it's a deflected shot, tips over the bar. Really good save there from Randolph. Pinky, but this is what we've been saying, you know, I think since he came to the club, wasn't it? You know, he's not particularly strong on crosses, but as a shot stopper, you know, he's pretty much second to none.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Randy, his return to the club after his spell in the north at Middlesbrough, I think it was, it had all the hallmarks of yet another cash flow deal, whereby we get a player, but money doesn't actually change hands; it just moves on, whether it's in this column or that column between the two clubs. Yeah. And once again, we're hearing all the rumours about Marco and Altovich again. It's the same story. And how many more of our managers are going to be hamstrung by having to, and that was a terrific save, having to do deals for players purely for financial reasons, not footballing ones. And, I think we've had a terrific season, but do you know what? For the want of a striker, for the want of another midfielder, for the want of a better backup goalkeeper, we could be playing in the senior European competition next year. And penny wise and pound foolish as always, West Ham. We go cheap and we're going to drift anywhere between 6th and 8th. And that's the only disappointment. That's not a reflection on the players we have. It's a reflection on the chairman we've got.
Absolutely right.
36 minutes in, West Brom lead by a goal to nil. I thought that was a foul there, Gnome, on Sufal. It was given as a corner, but it looked like a shove in the back from Robson Carno.
He went down as if there'd been one. West Brom breaking on the left, and shot there blocked by Dawson. West Ham just simply have gone to sleep the last 10, 15 minutes. Sufo getting done on the turn there, and ball cut back. It's a good block from Dawson, but I think that Robson Carno might have been a better player, might have done something a bit better there. So corner on the left, or West Brom's left, our right. So we're do this again, another in swing up. Again, it's cleared out, and Benrahma comes away with the ball. Now Antonio's on the break, going down the left. What can we do with this? He's looking up. Plays a long ball over to Fornals. Fornals takes it. Should have squared it. Has a shot. Souček has a shot, and again it's gone over. They look better on the break there, but again, decision making in the final third. Firstly, Fornals ought to have done better than just bringing it into traffic and then hitting a shot that gets blocked. Great ball from Antonio though to find Fornals. He's taken it down there, and then there's it's Ben Rama's sort of looking for it to be squared, which would have been certainly the better option rather than having a shot.
But I'm revised my prediction.
No, you can't.
Because I think
not allowed. Not allowed.
It's going for 120 minutes, and we ain't going to get a goal. It's just.
You think it's one of those?
Yeah.
I think the good thing there, DL. I mean, we say on here week after week, don't we, that West Ham looked better on the counter, and that really was the first opportunity that we've had to break. Apart from the chance in the first minute that led to a penalty, but that was really sort of West Ham's.
Here's something that annoys me. Pereira's got a knock, and he looks in pain. Fair enough, but he's gone sliding in to try and keep the ball in play, and Cresswell's watched it out. So he's landed on his arm. I think he's holding his arm there. So he goes down, and then holding his arm, and then inches his way back onto the pitch to be injured. As it happens, he doesn't need any treatment anyway. But you're off the pitch, you could be treated.
Yeah. But,
that was a little bit of a shithousery there.
Yeah, it's a bit early for that, 39th minute. But
it's an Allardyce team, though, isn't it?
Indeed. But going back to the point I was making there, Dio, about West Ham looking better on the counter attack. You agree with that? And we haven't really seen it much, have we, in the last few weeks?
Saved there by Johnston. I'd like to have a quick look at Fornals a sec, because he kept the ball live, but may have come off worsted in the tackle. Nice into him. Lingard out on the left. A couple of nice little shot. Whether or not it was going in is a matter of opinion, but Johnston wasn't sure on that. I think Fornals should be okay on that. More of a collision sort of. Well, the West Brom player gets a booking. I think that was more a sort of collision rather than really reckless. So
Fornals or the other bloke?
The other bloke.
Oh, good.
Fornals got the ball. Corner in from West Ham, outswinger this time. Souček gets up, but it's looped header and it's easy for the keeper. I just see that was got the book. I think it was the guy. OK, his first name is. I can't remember his surname. Yoksulu, I think, got the card there.
Rio, any thoughts on that booking? I mean, it looked to me. I mean, I'm with Gnome on that one. It looked like a fairly, just a collision. It didn't look like there was any malice intended there.
Yeah, I mean, if that was a Formula One thing, you'd just call it a racing incident, wouldn't you? It's just pure football. There's nothing anyone could do about it. It wasn't deliberate, but for the first time in history, I ain't going to complain about a referee giving them a yellow card out.
No, third booking of the night, 2 for Albion, 1 for West Ham so far. But the only goal of the game come from Pereira, scoring straight from corner in the 27th minute, and that's the one that separates the sides at the moment. DL, you said earlier it looks like we could be here all night and not score. I was going to ask you what the chances are of grabbing one before half time, but if that's the way you're viewing it, I'd say not much.
If it just needs a literally 10 seconds, doesn't it? A bit of Ben Rama, a bit of Lingard. Are you
disappointed with what you've seen from our attackers so far? I mean, you've obviously mentioned Lingard a few times. Ben Rama not really, added much. Fornals not really been too involved either.
I've not been impressed with our attacking three, to be honest, for quite some time. I mean, Everton, Brighton, Chelsea. We've actually looked a bit toothless. We look like we've run out of ideas. We look like we've run out of energy. We're running on empty. And I think teams have sussed us out, and we haven't got the squad or the players to mix it up. And like Allardyce is no mug, is he? After Moyes, he's had the most Premier League games as manager. So he's an experienced, love him or loathe him, he's an experienced guy. At the moment, he's doing a number on us.
someone who also done a number tonight, Arsenal, have won at Crystal Palace. It was 1-1 going into added on time at Selhurst Park, and then a goal for Martinelli in the first minute of added on time was followed by another for Pepe in the 5th minute of added on time, which means Arsenal move up to 58 points, just 1 point behind West Ham. So, if it all went horribly wrong, and it would have to, have to go horribly wrong between now and Sunday. No, we could sort of finish as low as 10th if everyone else gets the result. Now that would be shocking, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be.
He's laughing. He's on the negativity tip again.
Yeah. It would be devastating, really. I mean, after the season we've had, and but it's not something that we've just hit on just now. We've been saying since day one of the season that our squad lacks depth.
Yeah.
So it's if it's not news to us, then it shouldn't be news to the owners.
But we're not going to finish 10th, are we, Pinky? We're going to finish 6th, aren't we? Of course.
Yeah, we are, because do you know what? I know you've moved up to the grim north or somewhere, Graham, but there is a difference between a road sign that says give way and one that says give up. And I'm not sure that you know the difference anymore. I mean, it's the constant stream of negativity from you lot. Can you not realise the West Ham way is to be sitting plumb in 6th spot, against Saints, and then calamity strikes in the 94th minute? Yeah. So just as the players are getting ready for a decent lap of honour at the end of the season, yeah, we all have to start booing them off the pitch. I mean, let's get real. Tonight is not our Waterloo. Sunday will be our Waterloo. So, there's plenty of time left in this game here tonight. I'm not too sure who we've got on the bench this evening. Presumably Yarmolenko.
Yeah. Bowen.
Who else we got?
Jared Bowen, Odobeko, Noble, Bowen, Johnson, Fredericks, Diop, and not Randolph, of course, because Randolph's playing. Nathan Trott took his place, didn't he? So not an awful lot of attacking options, really. But
he's got a few things he could try, but I'm not even convinced we need to do that at this stage. We've had one or two very good breaks that had the final ball being just slightly better. I mean, there's a break several minutes ago when Antonio burst forward, each of a ball across that was brought down wonderfully, I think, by Ben Rama. Okay, it came to nothing, but
come on!
So positivity, yeah. you lot have got the
there we go. See,
it's clearly fed its way through to the players at the Hawthorns. Gnome, we are level.
I'm just waiting for a second. I don't think there's any question of an offside there, but hats off to Antonio for winning the ball back there. Ball gets played out to the left of Fornals. Lovely cross in, flicked away. Oh, hang on. I think he's just behind the ball, so he should be okay. I think. Let's just having a look at it now. Possible offside. I think it's just behind the ball. Yeah, he's behind the ball. He's behind the ball. He's okay. He's behind the ball. That's okay because he's behind the ball.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fantastic time to score, of course, as we always say, at the end of the half, when the other team is sort of thinking about going in with the lead. But Rio, a great finish, great cross from Fornals. Lovely ball across by Ben Rama. And
he's playing the ball and he toes offside as he plays the ball.
Yeah, I think he's going to be disallowed.
If he's behind the ball, he can't be offside. And I think he's going to be okay. Well, he should be okay because I think he's behind the ball. Onside, yes. Get in there.
Yes, so,
I mean, it's come to something when you have to actually start explaining, though, the offside law, like that, because you're so used to. He might be goal side of the defender, but if he's behind the ball, he can't be offside. Simple as that. And
well done, referee. No, well done, referee and VAR. VAR working in West Ham's favour.
Yeah.
The fact they even needed to check it and go into those details, though, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. I should bring it in clear daylight. None of this millimetre pinpoint rubbish. Clear daylight. There we go. That'll solve a lot of problems.
Great news though for West Ham. Pinky's positivity feeding through to the players on the pitch there. Thomas Souček turning
positive. Thinking positive. Yeah.
I just thought you'd been rained in the minibar.
Oh yeah. It's been a while since you've stayed away in a company. I can tell you that, Rio. Yeah.
It's another assist for Ben Rama, DL, and vindication really of David Moyes putting him in the squad tonight, putting him in the starting 11.
Yeah. I mean, I've had been criticisms of Ben Rama. I still don't really think that he's cut out for the Premier League. Not in a David Moyes side, at least. I'm not saying he wouldn't cut it somewhere else.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's a David Moyes type of player. As I put in the thread last week though, when he scored his goal, clean slate. Let's see how he does next season. And I would love to eat the words. I know people on the forum think I'm digging him out, but I'm not. There's nothing more than I'd like for Ben Rama to be proper firing and being a talisman. And a little aside as well, Souček is the first midfielder we've had since Payet to get into double figures.
Yeah, going into that game tonight, there were 3 players who had scored 9 goals: Souček, Lingard, and Antonio. And as DL says, the first midfielder to hit double figures. Was it Frank Lampard possibly before Payet? Or no, it would have been Nolan, wouldn't it? Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, Kevin Nolan.
But I think you have to go back to Frank before Nolan. There was a huge gap, wasn't there? But anyway, I mean, that's an aside. It is half-time at the Hawthorns. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 1, scoring in the first minute of added on time. Loads to talk about, actually, about that game. Let's start with Pinky, and let's start with the first 2 minutes of the game. We got lots to talk about. There was a penalty. Was it a red card? Was it a yellow card? And Declan Rice missed it. Pick the bones out of that lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, in no particular order, nailed on penalty. No question about it. So, yeah, the ref got that bit right. And the ref bottles his decision because it should be a red card. You know, there's no doubt in my mind about that whatsoever. But because of the time of the game it was, the ref probably thought, oh, if I do that, the game's over. So he bottles that, just produces the yellow. As for the pen, fair play to the skipper for saying, you know, I'll do it. I'll assume that was the decision they'd taken on the training ground and it's all sorted out ahead of the game. And on that basis, it's Declan's responsibility to hit the target and put the ball in the onion bag. And I'm sorry, I could be kind and say, oh, well, it wasn't a bad pen and he struck it well. And I've said all those nice things. It's 12 yards. You score. That's your job. And you know, Deck, sorry, mate. Be practicing them again and practice them all summer as well. Because if you are going to be the designated spot kick taker, you've got to score. It's that simple.
Okay, good stuff. And then 27 minutes on the clock, Gnome. And Albion score straight from a corner, something you don't see too often in the top flight these days.
Yeah, I mean, with the sort of various, what they call it, the dubious goals committee or something like that, whatever it's called. I don't know if they'll give it as a Souček own goal. They certainly should, really.
Yeah.
But I guess arguably the ball's going in anyway. Or it's on target anyway. But yeah, just dreadful defending of a corner. Something over the years we've not been that great at. And in recent weeks, you know, we've seen teams doing their homework. Everton was swinging them in. Okay, a little bit more central they were swinging them in, but you know, we saw that against Everton. We saw it to a certain degree against Brighton. And I said at the time when we did the Brighton game, you know, clubs have done their homework here. Doubly so. I mean, Randolph doesn't inspire confidence at the best of times when it comes to crosses. There's also late on in that game there was a situation where the ball was running and it may have got out for a goal kick. Randolph came out to gather to make sure. And I think it was Dawson who had a bit of pressure from a West Brom attacker, didn't trust Randolph to collect the ball and walloped it away for a throw-in. When you see that happens, it gives you an indication of perhaps a lack of confidence. I feel sure that particular incident, for example, if Fabianski had shouted keepers or whatever, the equivalent of a shout, then Dawson would have just feigned a swing at it and let it run through, and it probably would have gone for a goal kick. So, dreadful defending from the corner. And for the next sort of 20 minutes after that, West Ham looked a little bit clueless, I'm afraid.
Yes, we certainly did. But then, of course, sorry, Gnome. So then, of course, in the first minute of adding on time, looked like we were going to go into the break a goal behind, but Rio, it wasn't to be. Great cross from Pablo Fornells, fell to Said Ben Rama at the far post. Low cross to the back stick, and there was Thomas Souček waiting to tuck it in to become the first Hammer to hit double figures in terms of goals scored this season. Yeah, and it's great to see Thomas back on the score sheet. The last 4 or 5 games, he's looked incredibly tired. He's missed Declan Rice alongside him, and he's been playing a slightly more subdued role. But he's looked very leggy, very tired. Again, that will give him a confidence boost. And following the potential own goal, it's a great way for him to kind of bounce back. But again, he's shown that knack that we've admired all season. He's always in the right place at the right time. And when he's there, you always almost put your mortgage on him scoring, because just gets that leg out. It's never kind of rushed. It's always kind of, it's under control. It's not going to be scooped over the bar at a Semesia Boo, back of the net. And it's great to see Tom back on the score sheet. Put a smile on his face. Very much so. It's the first goal for Souček since scoring against Arsenal in that 3-3 draw on the 21st of March, although he did score a hat-trick for the Czech Republic in a 6-2 win in Estonia 3 days later in the 24th of March. But 10 for the season. And Pinky, that's, for a player playing his first full season in the Premier League, that's an incredible achievement, you'd have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, goals are the most precious commodity in the game, and that's why strikers generally cost so much. But if you can get midfielders that give you goals from that part of the pitch, for my sins today, I had to have breakfast with the Chelsea supporter, and we were just discussing, who was the best player in Chelsea's history. And this particular Chelsea support was saying Frank Lampard, because 200 goals from midfield was the best value that they ever had. And when you consider some of the strikers that have played for that club over the years, that's no mean feat to hear a Chelsea fan describe Lampard as their best ever. But Tommy Souček there today, to hit double figures, that's great. And, it's great for David Moyes, who's brought him into the club. And it's nice to see, a signing actually deliver more than the bare minimum. Long may it continue. And we need another 3 or 4 like him to actually produce the goods, because that's how tough this league is. We think we've had a good season, and we have, but we're kind of clinging on to 6th place when clubs slightly ahead of us in the table are now powering ahead in the last half a dozen matches, and we're just starting to flag a bit. So we've kind of a bit like a racehorse that's got into an early lead, but as we're trying to romp home up the hill at Cheltenham, other horses are going past us. It's that kind of thing. We're just running out of legs. And as DL touched on earlier, as long as it's not Arsenal, as long as it's not Tottenham, I think we can live with that. We'd have all taken 6th place at the start of the season. But if we finish in 8th place, most of us will be disappointed to a little bit. It's still a decent season, but I just want to go to Europe. I mean, for God's sake, I'm in Scotland. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Well, it's looking good at the moment, isn't it? I mean, that goal sort of changed everything, put West Ham back into 6th position in the live league table, a point ahead of Tottenham and Everton, and 2 points ahead of Arsenal in 9th place. But no, let me. I want to take you back to the first minute of the game, and you were absolutely convinced that that should have been a red card for West Brom's keeper, Johnson. You felt it was a deliberate foul, and even though he sort of waved his hands and said it was a mistake, doing an Al Jolson impression there, but it wasn't quite like that. But yeah, explain again why you felt that should have been a red card, not just a booking.
Right. Well, there is the double jeopardy concept, which prevents somebody from being sent off and having a penalty and a triple jeopardy and having a goal effectively if the penalty's converted.
Yeah.
That only applies if a foul denies a goal scoring opportunity where it's a genuine attempt to play the ball. And you inadvertently bring someone down. It happens all over the pitch, and isn't necessarily a deliberate act.
Yeah.
That, to me, there was no attempt to play the ball. He just basically body checked Antonio. He got his body across him to prevent him going past, and then did the what me ref type thing. And so the question then is, you've got to look at the four Ds, as referees are told to look at when it comes to denial of goal scoring opportunity, or DOGSO, as everyone calls it. Firstly, it's the distance between the players and the ball. Well, Antonio's on the ball if he doesn't get body checked, so that's not an issue.
Yeah.
The distance to goal, well, it's there, it's in front of him. It's not something that's happening, 40 yards away. So there. The number of defenders that would be covering if the foul hadn't occurred. Well, no, Antonio's clear. There's nobody between Antonio and the goal.
Sure,
now, it's only the fourth D that there might be some vague argument, and it's direction.
Yeah.
Now, what the explanation and the guidance to referees says is something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, but if the player's running towards goal is one thing. If he's running away from goal, that's a slightly different thing. So if he's running towards way out the touchline, but it doesn't cover the situation where he's going slightly to one side to slight side put the ball. That to me was a deliberate denial of goal scoring opportunity. I think it satisfies every criteria for a red card, and as Pinky so rightly put it, he's bottled it. It's the first minute. Have I got to send a goalkeeper off in the first minute?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, West Brom think themselves lucky that it's not Mike Dean, because Mike Dean would have been lapping the opportunity to send off a goalkeeper in the first minute, wouldn't he?
Is there an element, perhaps, of I hate the phrase being too honest, but Michail Antonio didn't hurl himself to the ground, didn't swan dive, didn't throw his arms back as he went down. Do you think that might have helped the keeper in some sense?
No, not really, because it was helped to get the keeper is that the referee's incompetent, basically.
Okay. Right.
Because the referee spotted the foul. There's no need for any histrionics. He spotted the foul. We know he spotted the foul because he gave a penalty. So then he's got
my point being that some players make it look worse than it actually is. And Michail Antonio, being an honest kind of player, didn't attempt to do that, did he, in any way? I just wonder if that might have affected the final decision.
Because he got totaled out anyway, I don't think it'd be proper.
Yeah.
What could he have done in that? He's actually on his way down anyway. Is this, short of adding a few rolls to it at the end,
which some players would have done.
Oliver's cocked it up. Yeah, Oliver's cocked it up. He knows it, and nothing of that. So.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Good stuff.
As you said earlier on, 3 minutes into, you're here 3 minutes now and we complain about the referee. Well, the referee's made a potentially terrible, game-changing decision in the first minute. Yeah. If he'd left it to 90th minute, I might have waited to 90th minute for criticising him.
I doubt it very much. But anyway, we'll never know. We'll never know now. Let's take our first dip into the forums tonight to see what fans of both teams are thinking of it. Rio, of course, as always, keeping an eye on the KUMB.com forum match thread to see what our fellow Hammers are thinking. And tonight, Pinky is looking at westbrom.com to see what the Baggies are thinking at half time with the game at 1-0. We'll start with, let's go to KUMB first of all, to the match thread. Rio, what's the general consensus over there at half time?
Well, obviously that goal stroke of half time has changed everyone's mood completely. Before that was happening, there was not a lot of happiness in the room. WCP put practically every player on our side is going to do 180 degree turn in play to get in the second half to get back into this. Everyone's on a 4 out of 10 at the moment. 3 Dicks has put, it doesn't feel like we want to win this one. Hammer and Sickle, I knew his poster. This is awful. Amongst the worst I've seen us play this year. That young Chelsea's kid is running down the middle of the park, destroying us. He's everywhere. John G86. We're a team that never faced this kind of pressure before. I think it's showing now. Back in a month ago, we had players laughing on the pitch and making group celebrations. Since Newcastle, everyone looks incredibly tense. Obviously, the goal has changed that. And as Tommy Hammers put, the roller coaster of VAR, I went mental. I stormed off in a mood because I thought it was offside. Then went mental again when I realised it was on. VAR, what is it, eh? And also, I can't remember who was it now, but someone's just rightly pointed out that Thomas Souček is a right foot goal away from the perfect hat trick tonight. He scored with a header.
Yes.
Got with his left foot. Please let it be in the right end, please, Tom.
Very much so. Thank you, Ro. The second half has kicked off again, but before we catch up with the action, we're going to have a quick look at westbrom.com to see what Albion fans thought of that first half. Pinky.
Overall, they're pretty happy actually. Pereira clearly is the preferred player at the Hawthorns these days. So he's a player we want to make a bid for just to upset them. But Liam the Baggy, he sums it up nicely. A good half overall, competitive for both sides. Although West Ham have that additional quality with Fornals and Lingard. So interesting how the opposition views some of our players from time to time. And football fans, we're all the same, aren't we? The grass is always greener. The other clubs always have the slightly better players. But generally the Baggy fans are quite happy this evening thus far.
Okay, good stuff. No?
Well, West Brom had a corner on their right-hand side, which frankly wasn't a corner. It was an in-swinger, and they put somebody right in front of Randolph, who this time did foul him. But Randolph didn't look very comfortable. He tipped it over the bar. He got the free kick, but it was, he punched it, and it really could have gone pretty much anywhere. It had a touch of the Roberto's.
I'm not sure he actually punched it. Did it look like it came off the inside of his wrist, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Strange ones.
There was a hand there.
And he put it over the bar. He did his job. Give him some slack.
Yeah,
now, West Ham on the attack. Fornals played the ball in the box, cuts it back, but Rice was shadowed and they managed to clear it. Although Fornals won it back, says it's hit him on the hand. So free kick to West Brom. So excitement over for a minute.
I should say that at the moment, 4 out of 5 of us are still in to get the right score. Pinky, the only one out so far, because you went for a 3-0 West Ham win. Everyone else had goals for both teams, so everyone's still in with the shout.
Okay, I mean, I've just seen the Randolph thing again here.
Okay.
Right. That absolutely confirms my thought on the goal we conceded. It's the same action again, which is stick a player on the keeper, barge into him, make him uncomfortable. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a free kick for that. We didn't in the first half, we have in the second half. And I just wonder if, David Moyes or Pearce, actually wandered along past the referee at the halftime stage and said, you might want to have a look at that again, and just say that was a foul on the keeper.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, I'm sure David Moyes will reveal at the end of the game if anything happened. But chance again, Gnome?
Yeah, Ben Rama did some good work on the edge of the box. Fed Fornals, who tried to cut back in and curl it around, but it was looked well wide. Yeah, it was well wide.
I'd take the deflection.
Nah, don't think so. But it was good work from Ben Rama. Antonio went for a ball and missed it. Ben Rama sort of picked up the bits of it, and it was decent ball across the box into Fornals as well. But sorry, good clearance from Ogbonna there. Now Antonio's bearing down. I think Johnson will get that though. Yeah, a bit optimistic for Antonio to get that even on a motorbike. But
are we? I mean, Fornals, Gnome. You know, we're all big fans of his. I think it's fair to say here. But I think if you had one criticism of him or his football, is that he's not the greatest finisher, and he's missed a fair few decent chances. Not that was a clear-cut chance, but could improve in that area.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, just Gallagher's just taking the ball off him as he was trying to get down the wing. So thrown to West Ham. Yeah, his work rate is astounding. I mean, the corner there that we were talking about, where West Brom, where the foul was on Randolph. Fornals was adjudged to have given away the corner, even though it did come off the West Brom player. But that just shows you Fornals is the one doing the defending down there, trying to help out Cresswell. And come on, ref. Souček has the shirt almost torn off his back, and it is given. But when you see his shirt sort of billowing all the way out. Talking of bottle jobs there, hands up, who knows what the standard punishment for pulling a player's shirt is?
Yellow card.
Yeah, statutory yellow card. Now, hands up, how many yellow cards were given just then?
4?
None.
None, yeah.
That's Liverpool 2-0, so they're going to be too far ahead of us now.
Yeah. Yes, of course. The plenty of games in the Premier League tonight. Liverpool 2-0 up at Turf Moor against Burnley. Looks like they're going to be taking another 3 points. But we're looking good for 6th place at the moment, DL. It's even a draw tonight. It wouldn't be. It would be nice to win, of course, but that would give us that cushion, wouldn't it? That 1 point cushion over Tottenham and Everton, and of course Arsenal would be 2 points behind going into Sunday's game, which could be hugely important.
I'd sooner have the 3 points. I would
of course.
have the 3 points, because obviously Southampton, again, they're another team that ain't no mugs, and we could easily trip up against them. We need the points on the board. We can't be relying on the last game of the season. Get the points on the board, and it's kind of job done, isn't it? And a thing that's disappointed me tonight is, again, I think Rice has been pretty anonymous. He doesn't seem to have grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck in his normal way.
Is he fit? Do you think he's fully fit?
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is at all. It's Moyes doing what he does with Antonio. He's brought him back too quick. But if it weren't for the board, and we had a decent squad, we wouldn't be in that position in the first place, would we? So,
sorry, I've just seen Antonio pulled down and absolutely nothing given.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
And now there's a little, Fornals is now going to be penalised, and Fornals is quite rightly pointing up the other end of the pitch and saying, "Well, what about that?" It's just. Yeah, I mean, it's a foul by Fornals, but the referee gives the one up the other end. Then, as I say, I mean, and PGMOL tell us Oliver's the best referee they've got, and what worries me is they may be right.
Yeah, no question.
To West Brom anyway, dangerous territory on their right-hand side. Ball played in, and it's headed up there by Dawson, I think, and cleared away for a throw-in. But I'm just trying to work out on what basis that foul on Antonio wasn't given, because it was a rugby tackle almost, wasn't it? It was caught the ground.
Yes, none of that. I'm slightly surprised that Fornals wasn't penalised with a card for what was a pretty obvious lash out or a kick out. But anyway, we'll take it. It is West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 1, 54 minutes gone almost in this game. The Hammers falling behind to a Pereira goal straight from a corner, and then an equaliser coming in. Added on time at the end of the first half from Thomas Souček, scoring his 10th goal of the season, the first Hammer to hit double figures this season. Rio, What do you make of the start of the second half so far? You know, it seems to be following a fairly similar pattern to the first, would you say?
Yeah, very much so. One chance for us, but West Brom have been largely the better side, forcing the issue and it just forced another corner. I've just seen a very uncharacteristic mistake by Thomas Souček, who seemed to take an eternity to bring the ball down and got caught in possession, which has left this corner that's about to be taken. I think it's Gallagher's going to take it for West Brom. It's taken short, locked, and it's gone off for a throw-in. But yeah, we're letting West Brom have far too much possession, letting them playing around a bit. And we've really got to cut that out. We need to be on the offensive. We need to be in their face and forcing issues ourselves. And we're letting them dictate the play at the moment. I would just let this one, because they're going to obviously take a long throw in West Brom into the near post. Flicked on. It's still in there. And somehow, Randolph, good save. Somehow we managed to let them get a strike on goal when Randolph made a very good save.
He's having a good game, isn't he, Randolph?
Yeah, I was going to say, not for the first time tonight, making a good stop, DL, and making up for that earlier. If it was an error, we don't, you know, it's a difficult one. But yeah, a couple of really good saves from Randolph tonight.
Giving the benefit of the doubt that one, to be honest. I still think if Souček weren't on his way, he would have tipped that. Weren't in his way, he would have tipped that over.
Yeah. Yes, making himself.
On that note, I've had a good 55 minutes, but I'm wilting now, so I'm going to bode you good night, fellas.
All right, buddy. Well, it was lovely to have you back with us. Maybe we can do it. We'll see how we go on Sunday, but there will certainly be a spare seat waiting for you.
I'll be there on Sunday. It's a nice mid-afternoon game, so I won't miss that. It's getting close to the bedtime. Good night, chaps.
You take care of yourself. We'll see you again soon. Well, there you go. Yeah, back with the team tonight for the first time in a while. Lovely to see him back with the regular crew, but leaving us at a point when it's 1-1. The game completely in the balance here at the moment, Pinky. But you know, it's another one of those games. Is not dissimilar to the Brighton game in many ways. West Ham failing to impose themselves on perceived weaker opposition so far.
Well, I'm just thinking actually about, you know, that's the equivalent of walking out at half time, really, isn't it? You know, I mean, is that the earliest anyone's left a broadcast and the Dyer's going? You know, he's just gone, I don't fancy this tonight. You know, I'm off down the Broadway for a couple of beers now. But no, I mean, I'm okay with where we are here now. You know,
okay,
it's 1-1. Yeah. Yes, could go either way. Yes, you know, West Brom are getting a few chances, but so are we. And I think our little bit of extra quality will tell in the end. And it wouldn't be West Ham if we just turned up, beat them 4-0, you know, with a goal every 20 minutes, would it? You know, we know who we support and we know what it's like. And my only regret is we haven't got supporters in the ground there tonight to do the oohs, the ahs, and all the rest of it. Because can you imagine that, missing a penalty in the first minute, what our support would have been like? You know, it would have been absolutely desperate stuff. You know, and for me, the story of the evening is the fact that the West Brom fans are back in their ground, and I can't wait for us to be back in ours, albeit it's not a football ground, it's an athletic stadium, but I've been locked indoors so long, you know, if Michael Barrymore invited me to a pool party, I'd turn up, you know, it's one of those. So, you know, it's you know, you'd go on holiday with Kate and Jerry, wouldn't you? You know, so I'll even look forward to Sunday afternoon at West Ham.
Well, it's only 96 hours or so away before we can, or before you can get back in the ground. Those of you who've been lucky enough to get tickets, the rest of us will be here on Eyes Up Mother Brown on Sunday afternoon. But Rio, would we? You know, there's still a long way to go, as Pinky said. But would you take a point tonight, knowing that you know, a win on Sunday would absolutely secure that European place?
Point from away from home is never bad, but we desperately need the 3, don't we? Because, as I said before the game, it is so congested in them European qualification spots.
Yeah.
And you just do not know what's going to happen on Sunday. It's the typical end of the season. And when we have a lot of things at stake, how many times do we choke it and bottle it? So I'd rather get the 3 tonight, walk away on Sunday with a little bit of breathing space for us. But, you know, it's not looking good at the moment. Just going back to the penalty thing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've since Noble's been largely benched all season, We've tried Declan, we've tried Jesse Lingard, who both missed. Dan Bolin on the forum has pointed out, when playing for Slavia Prague, Thomas Souček netted 8 out of 8 for them. And given his form in front of goal for us since his move, why isn't he been considered as a penalty taker?
It's a very good point. Very good point. I certainly wasn't aware of that, but yeah, perhaps someone should be having a word in Moyes' shell, like after the game, if that's the case. Gnome, a touch of exasperation from you there.
Yeah, promising position, wasted with a poor ball across goal that was easily intercepted as ball comes into a little flick, but it goes 10 yards wide in the end. Yeah, we were bringing the ball out nicely. But if we'd been able to play that ball out to the left, yeah, we had numbers over on that side, but it was basically not enough pace or the right direction on it, really, and it was just easily picked off. And West Brom came back at us. It's exasperating when you can see them all over there. And you just think, yeah, a bit scrappy at the moment.
Yeah,
West Brom, yeah. Well, Rice has just had his shirt pulled off, but he's played advantage. Ben Rama's down on the right-hand side now. Plays a low ball across, and Antonio was looking dangerous there. It's been cleared away, though. Good, yeah, dangerous looking cross, that one. Rice did well there because he was having the shirt tugged off him. Nice ball out to Ben Rama as well. Yeah, it's gone out. I think it's gone out for a corner. Yeah, it has, yeah.
Okay, well, we're waiting for that corner
West Ham on the right-hand side. Still no sign of the stat. And Cresswell's over here to take it now. Gets rid of a water bottle that's somehow in his way. And, well, let's see what happens with this corner then. Where's the stat? Go on, Chris. Get a nice one in there. And it goes. Played towards the near post and, well, interestingly, played out again from another corner the other side. The West Brom player there probably had time to do something better with that. I mean, you know, that was, Maitland-Niles.
While we're waiting for that corner to come in, though, I can confirm that West Bromwich Albion's goal has been credited to Mateus Pereira, so no own goal given, interestingly.
Yeah.
But anyway, another corner for West Ham.
Yeah. Yeah, corner from the left. I think they probably sent Cresswell all the way back to take it all the way over there. So outswinger, nodded on by Souček.
Yeah.
Foot or two wide. Funny, this morning, or no, was this morning or last night, I was talking to the beloved and she was wondering, she likes to put a few bob on these things. And, Antonio, foot away from get a foot on it. But she said, I might go Souček for goal scorer tomorrow because he hasn't scored for a while. He's certainly sort of on it tonight anyway. Very unlucky that he didn't score. And Antonio, yeah, as I say, enough, under pressure from a defender, if he'd been a foot taller, might have got on the end of that.
It's almost like the one the other day, wasn't it? We had a very similar one where Antonio almost
good
got on
try.
the end.
Antonio's in the box here. Pulls it. Poor ball. Tries to pull it back to the edge of the box. West Brom don't do anything with it. Ben Rama pulls it back, and again West Brom only clear it to the touchline. And if we play back, and it's now hoofed long. But Antonio did well there. But now West Brom have 3-on-3 here. Ball played in. Well, we cleared it in the end, but there were 3 or 4 sort of swings at it that nobody connected with. And now West Ham are on the attack, so it's quite open. And Antonio's hauled down again, and this time even Oliver doesn't sort of feel able to ignore that one. Let's have a look at this again. Cross comes in from the left. Ogbonna has a swing at it, misses. Cresswell gets a slight touch on it, then has a swing at it and misses. And it falls to, it nearly falls to, I can't say who that was there, but Dawson in the end comes in the manner of Peter Kay in the John Smith advert says have it and larrips it down the field. So free kick to West Ham, halfway inside the West Brom half for the foul on Antonio a second ago. And just looking at it now, Cresswell plays it in. Oh, he's hit the post.
Again,
didn't look like there was a shot on there.
There it is again.
It curled it around the outside. It went the long way round. Tries to catch. Johnson wasn't getting that. That's a foot inside. That's a very clever free kick because Johnson is way over the other side of the goal. And, unlucky there. It reminds me of that goal that Di Canio scored against Watford where he curled it round the wrong side of the wall. And not that there was a wall there for Cresswell, but it was that wrong side effort that took everyone by surprise, not least us.
Pinky, I don't know if you've seen that yet on your stream. I know you're a little bit behind tonight, but it looks like one of those that's been worked on, on the training ground, and they've perhaps seen Johnson stand off his goal line in the past, and they've looked for that. Very similar to the goal in the playoff final, I think last year against Brentford.
Fulham, wasn't it? Of course. Yet, so
okay.
So can't comment, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, let me pass that one over to Rio then, and then you can come back on that in just a few seconds. Rio,
you would have thought so. Sorry. Sam Johnson's been in excellent form this season for West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah,
I think he's made the most saves out of any keeper in the Premier League. But he was very much out of position. So you've got to think either it's really quick thinking and intelligent play by Cresswell to take that free kick kind of quickly and catch him off guard.
Yeah.
Or it's something he's been doing. I mean, I've not noticed him when I've watched him this season be that kind of out of position.
He was well
it was a third piece of Sunday League football in the space of 2 or 3 minutes, because prior to that, West Brom had defended absolutely abysmally when we was on the attack. We did it even worse when the West Brom company over in. What Cresswell was trying to do there, I don't know. But if it had been the Sunday League side, you would have absolutely caned the bloke, And that was just, Johnson had plenty of time. I can't understand why he was so out of position.
Yeah.
Very strange.
When you see it from behind, he's way over the other side. You don't quite get the distance from the normal shot. Now, can Antonio get on the end of this? No. Marshalled well, and ball comes away well there.
Lost his bearings, perhaps, the keeper on that occasion. Pink, have you had a chance to see that yet?
Yeah, I have, and I mean, good decision by Cresswell to try, and place it where we attempted to.
Yeah, it would have been the goal of the season, wouldn't it, if it had gone in that one?
Yeah, I mean, but Johnson, if I wanted to be super generous, I'd say he was trying to tempt the player to put it there, but he wasn't. He was just miles out of position, and for whatever reason. But what I would say, though, Aaron Cresswell, there's your penalty taker.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier on when
he's
West Brom gets shot away, but it's weak and wide, by the way. I was thinking that earlier, Pinky. It's your main dead ball taker, which is normally a prerequisite, or normally sort of high up the list for penalty takers, isn't it?
No. Sorry, Pinky, go on.
Yeah, it's just it's also, let's not forget, it's a test of character as well, and some players just don't want to take spot kicks, and they're very clear with managers about that, and you can understand it because you hear a muppet like me saying it's 12 yards out, you've got to score, they're professionals and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, do you know what? Try it from 12 yards out where there's 20,000 of our lot screaming at you, saying miss, 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 and making all sorts of comments that you will hear. It's not as easy when you're the guy who's got to do it. So, I can well understand what players say, thanks, but no thanks. I'll leave that to the captain.
Yeah, I was going to say, just come in there and say, we're just seeing Grady Diangana coming on the pitch for Albion, first change of the day. I was just going to say, Gnome, that Aaron on the YouTube chat said, I never understand why the striker on the pitch isn't first up for the penalty. Scoring from inside the box is literally his job.
Some like taking them, others don't, do they?
Yeah.
It's nice ball in from Rice here now. Back to Rice.
Which striker on which pitch?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, yes, you'd have to assume he's referring to Antonio there, but
yeah,
it's a valid point. I think they're
yeah.
used to
I mean,
finding the net.
you know,
So
as a kid, Jeff Hurst always took them when I was, first going over there, and
in your 40s,
1840s, yeah. But and he used to. I mean, there was him, there was Ray Stewart, and then there was Julian Dix, two fullbacks. All
Yes,
three of them
yes.
used to normally larrup the thing. I mean, Hurst could hit the ball hard from a penalty, and very few people say famously Gordon Banks. Now West Brom, Dawson comes across and sees the ball out, and little after the ball's gone out, sort of nudge on the the West Brom player, who so I'm not sure who that was actually, but Dawson kind of patted him on the back and went on his way. But I mean, back to my playing days when I played for civil service, we had a guy, Irish guy, who played Gaelic football in his youth, and he could larrup the ball harder than Julian Dix could, and whenever. He took our goal kicks, and we'd go and line up on the edge of the penalty area when he took goal kicks. Ball in from Stufeld, not cleared very fast. Souček has a tee up, but he doesn't get hold of it properly. It goes wide for a goal kick. He's certainly looking for another one.
Some match stats for you while we've got a bit of a lull there. Possession very, very even tonight. 47% to West Brom, 53% to West Ham. 11 shots for Albion, 4 on target. 15 shots for West Ham so far, 4 on target. 6 corners to Albion, 7 to the Hammers. So pretty even stuff so
for West
far.
Ham.
Jared Bowen, are you coming on?
Yeah, Bowen on for Ben Rama. Ben Rama gets a pat on the back there from Moyes, which you don't always see from Moyes. So there's a little bit of appreciation for Ben Rama there.
Thoughts on that, Gnome? Do you think that's a good call at this point?
Yeah, I think Ben Rama dropped off it a little bit. Time to freshen things up a bit. What we got, 20 minutes left plus stoppage, and why not?
Did anyone see who Diangana replaced? I didn't catch
that.
Maitland-Niles,
who, as he went by, was sort of applauding the fans in the manner that suggests that he's definitely not going to be there next season. West Brom try to work a crossing from their right. Dawson's on the end of it, and its clearance is completed. Antonio nearly makes something of that, and Antonio doesn't quite get in, and West Brom bring it away. A couple of chances to make something of a break there, but that's shot in, and it's skewed 10, 15 yards wide from, I'm not sure their 11 is. Who's their 11? Sorry, I've lost my team sheet on it.
Their 11 is it not Diangana?
Yeah, could well be. Yeah, because
Diangana.
His hair's shorter than when he was obviously with the barbers. And
yes.
Yeah.
What do you, I mean, Pinky, there was all sorts of uproar when David Sullivan sold Diangana to Albion at the start of the season. Now we've, several months have passed and we've had a season to reflect. Who do you think got the better deal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hang on.
Financially, we did, but it's kind of like, what does it matter? Because we then went and spent the money on a player that the jury is still very much out on, and players come, players go. 20 million. I think we got a very full price for Grady at the time.
Yeah.
I would have rather have kept him because I'd rather see him playing in our colours than in other clubs. But the bigger concern for me was, well, where did his money go? What did we spend it on? And did we get value out of that deal? That's the real measure about whether or not we got anything decent out of it, because you're always going to spend the money. The long and short, we're going to spend it. Whatever you raise from a sale, it's just who you spend it on, and does that player turn out to be better than the player that you sold? And I don't know. Grady's struggled to get into their team this season. They've seen a change of manager. He's not as a favoured player in the way that he was when Slaven Bilic was there. That's for sure. Yeah. So, the person I feel sorry for most of all in it all was Grady Diangana, because he didn't want to go. That much was obvious. And I think it caused quite a lot of ill feeling within our camp at the time. And I think fair play to David Moyes, he managed to put a lid on that and still get a great season out of this group of players. But I just felt a bit sorry for Grady Diangana because
it was a strange one, wasn't it? Because I mean, in the week or two prior to his sale, the club and all the media that they were putting out was making the most of his partnership with Sebastian Haller and how well they'd been playing together in pre-season. And then he was gone.
And I remember discussing on the forum, a number of us actually saw Diangana more as a number 10 type player. And we thought, relatively quick feet and could it give us that little bit of something extra in that part?
Sorry, a couple of frustrating moments there. One, a few minutes ago, Lingard got into a promising position and it was a poor cross that was gobbled right up. And then Rice won the ball in midfield, went on a run and fed Fornals out the left, but again, the ball in was sort of gobbled up by the keeper. It's just,
unlucky.
We keep getting into these decent positions, and the game's actually opening up quite a lot now. Both teams are having little spells, and that looked like it went out though. Yeah, it did. Throw it to West Ham. Just to pick up on something Pinky said there. Be fair to Diangana at West Brom, you're saying that he's not had that many games, but he has had quite a few injury problems. A lot of his absences have been down to that as well, which doesn't account for some of it. So, he's had various problems there. So, but I mean, even when he's been fit, particularly since the current manager arrived, he's not been favoured with a regular start. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Rio, we saw a bit of a comedy moment just a couple of minutes ago. A great block by Robson Kanu. I think it was Phillips who had the shot on the edge of the box, and it was essentially 2 against 1, 2 Albion strikers against 1 defender, and we didn't really need any because they kind of nullified each other.
Superb defensive work. We know he's not that prolific in front of goal. He normally comes to life once every 5 years, doesn't he, Kanu? But defending, you can't fault him. That was a marvellous challenge.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
Well, it's only fair, Gray. It's only fair. If we're going to score their goals for them, at least they can do is defend for us.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point you make. No, just going back to the substitution. Tony Mitchell on YouTube says he's surprised that Ben Rama was hooked and he felt that Lingard should have gone instead. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he's not had a good game, Lingard. When he's got into good position, his delivery has been subpar, shall we say. And it could have been either. I just think that Lingard was still getting on the ball sort of reasonably regularly, which Ben Rama wasn't, even if he wasn't doing much with it, sort of thing. So, close call either way, and I could see that might have been a change.
Okay. Well, we are 12 minutes or so away from the end of normal time. It's still level pegging. West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 1. Looking for a winning goal. Where's it going to come from, Pinky? For the Hammers, hopefully.
I think we'll due a goal from Gerard Bowen, that's for sure. So maybe it's time for him to step up to the plate and deliver something for us. But I'm not too downhearted with what I've seen tonight. I mean, as things stand, we go into the game on Sunday, and it is in our own hands whether or not we finish in 6th spot. And at the start of kick-off, if you said, would you take that? I think most of us would have said yes, wouldn't we?
Here. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But yeah, I mean, we could yet win it. You never know. There's, as I said, there's still another 12 minutes or so to go. And Gnome, I think was bang on there, Rio, saying that the game is beginning to open up now. You know, it doesn't look like a game that's going to end without any further goals at the moment, does it? There's plenty of space for both sides out there, both going for a winning goal.
Yeah, I think the biggest contributing factor to that at the moment, is from our point of view, is that both our central midfielders look incredibly leggy and incredibly tired. Declan's clearly not fully fit. Thomas Huchett looks absolutely shattered. And where they're not as defensively rugged as they have been and disciplined all season, there's far too many gaps opening up in the middle for me. And they both sides are a little bit fragile defensively. So there's far too much space. And I just don't know what side the goal's going to come. But I'm guaranteed there is going to be one more goal in this.
Looks like it, Pinky.
Yeah, you're not suggesting, are you, Rio, that Souček and Rice are a bit heavy in the thigh?
Well, I daren't do that. I daren't, you know. That's trademarked, isn't it, that phrase?
Well, there you go.
10 minutes left. 10 minutes to go for the Hammers to find a winner. Already, a draw would put West Ham in 6th place, as Pinky has pointed out, rightfully, going into the final game of the season. But a win here tonight would, well, it would put us in a great position going into that Southampton game, wouldn't it? Gnome, over to you.
Yeah, sorry, good little interception from Fornals there. Plays Lingard in, plays Bowen in on the right-hand side. Bowen cuts in. Lovely ball in. Oh! Fornals gets on the end of it. First time shot, which is saved with his legs by the keeper, Johnson. This is a good move. It starts with Fornals. Some good play by some Bowen. It's a lovely ball in the box. A great run from Fornals. Great ball to find it. First time effort. Well saved by the keeper. One of the best bits of football in the whole game so far.
Do you think perhaps we've seen why Jesse Lingard is still on the pitch there, Gnome? I mean, you know, you just wonder if Ben Rama would have released the ball as quickly as that, but definitely great link-up play.
Yeah. Anyway, the corner's been taken by Cresswell, and it's in swinger, and it's in!
Yes!
No, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Sorry,
come on!
For a second, there go wide. Ogbonna!
Rio, you called it.
Together, scoring a four-post header, Angelo.
Rio, you called it. You said it didn't look like a game that was going to end 1-1 4 minutes ago. There it is, 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah. And we've only scored from the corner. When was the last time that happened? That didn't come up. Great corner for the far post. Andro comes steaming in, gets the Malteser on it, just enough to deflect it past Sam Johnson. I think we're in for a nervy 5 or 6 minutes now, boys.
Pinky, where was the marking? You might not have seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to the next,
They're just checking for a possible offside. I don't think. No, it's given.
No offside.
It's given. They were checking for it. Yeah, don't shoot the messenger.
No, where was the marking?
Who cares?
Who cares?
To paraphrase,
shocking, isn't it? Sam Allardyce side, and they want a player to come in on the blind side like that with no challenge.
To paraphrase Barry Davis in the Olympic hockey final. Frankly, who cares?
Yes,
one of the great bits of commentary. That
West Ham have a goal from a set piece. Yeah, at last. It's been a while. Arsenal, was it the last one? Pinky, your thoughts on the goal? You've seen it now.
I mean, it's a bit ugly. It's a bit scrappy. It's not exactly what you call a goal for purists. But who cares? He could have hit it in, off his todger. I wouldn't care, because at this stage of the season, 10 minutes to go, just get it in the net. Because that will settle any nerves people might have for Sunday. I mean, we've then got a couple of options on Sunday. Two results would suit us probably, the way things stand. And just seeing him coming in there, I mean, that's why I like Ogbonna. I mean, he'll get up, he'll go in there, and he's got a bit of presence in the box. So, yeah, not the best finish he's ever made, but probably the most important one, because if that's the goal that takes us into the common market, Mr. Bridger, yeah, You know, we can all look forward to rocking up outside the Fiat car factory in Turin or wherever it is. Yeah.
West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 2. Little round of applause for Pinky there on that one. Rio, you get the sense now. I mean, I know you just said it's going to be a nervy last few minutes for West Ham, but I think you kind of get the sense that Albion haven't really got much fight left here. They could be famous last words, of course, but after a terrible season for them, let's be honest, you know, they've gone behind with, you know, having led with less than 10 minutes to go. And do you sense that maybe, you know, there's no life there and West Ham have got this one?
There's no such thing as a Sam Allardyce side without fight. And for a side that's already relegated, they put up a really good performance against Manchester United on Sunday. And they've done really well tonight. They've caused us plenty of problems. So for me, these last 5 or 6 minutes are going to be absolutely terrifying. You could see me biting my nails if I had any left. I'm not convinced by this at all. As I say, they've got throwing on the right hand side. Furlong's going to take. It's going to go deep.
Not as deep as it makes it's cleared. West Brom has made another substitution. Grant is on for OK. So
okay.
So yeah, that's. I'm not quite sure where Grant plays. Actually, I'm not familiar with him, but I suspect he's more of an attacking-minded player than our mate OK was. So.
We are in the final 5 minutes anyway. West Ham still only made one substitution. I kind of get the feeling that might be it for Moisey. He seems to.
No, we've got another one coming on there at the moment. In any
beautiful minute. Timing, perfect timing. There you go.
Yeah.
Go on, Gnome.
I think there were some instructions being given.
Okay.
As Dawson sort of takes one for the. See, now that's annoying because Dawson's picked up a yellow card, deservedly so. But you know, we've seen that challenge come the other way quite a number of times today, and you know, it seems random. It's every third one's a yellow card, maybe. You know, yeah, I think I didn't quite see who it was actually, but there was because I looked away at the wrong moment just to see somebody cutting away. But anyway, ball played in from West Brom, one in the air, but it's cleared, I think, by Bowen eventually. Lingard doesn't control it and invites West Brom back on us again, and Cresswell loses out on their right. Gets back though, but the cross, they still get the cross in, but again it's blocked. Yeah, Fornals has won this now. Now we can break in numbers. Ball's played to Lingard. Lingard holds it up a little bit. Plays it to Antonio in 3-1.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Game over. Surely game. We do like conceding a late goal, and we're never comfortable at 3-1 up. But surely, Rio, that's it now.
Diop
it should be
proposed change.
It's a great move on the counter.
Yeah, I thought Lingard had held it up a little bit too much, but he was just waiting for Antonio to make his run in the box. I mean, we had 3-on-1 there at one point. And when Lingard gets it, you know, he holds it up, and there's still only 2 back for West Brom. And, you know, even when the ball's gone in the net, there are only 3 West Brom players other than the goalkeeper in the box. And they're basically just going back to pick up the ball for the keeper there. Good finish from Antonio. First time.
Also, Gnome, I just want to put, I mean, I know you mentioned him there, but Pablo Fornals, not the first time he's broken up playing our own half possession and set us off, you know, at the other end. And of course, this time, West Ham profiting handsomely. Yeah,
he did well there. As the second he won the ball, as I say, we had 3-on-1, which was, you know, it just looked like we'd held it up. We've made that sub. It is Diop. It's come on, and Fornals has been rewarded with a few minutes break for his efforts there. So Diop's come on, and Dean is on for Robson Kanu, who, to be honest, he's not if you want to look at why West Brom are getting relegated, if he's one of your main strikers, he's still living off that Euros 5 years ago, wherever it was, isn't he? Really? Yeah. He was very much a sort of journeyman Championship player. Got a couple of goals in the tournament, which then sort of persuaded somebody at the time that he was a Premier League player when clearly he wasn't.
Which really confirms the golden rule. Never, ever, ever buy a player off the back of a tournament. Okay? And remember that.
Who could you be referring to?
Remember that this summer, West Ham United. All right?
We all dream of a team of Gary Breens.
No, I'll have nightmares now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really
Although if that Mbappe becomes available, I wouldn't say no to signing him.
Yeah, no, I'm standing by my assessment. I wouldn't take it.
That's surely game over now.
He's
West
no
Ham.
Robson Carnu, is he?
No, he's not.
True,
He's
very
not.
true.
Jesse Lingard, there you go. We were questioning why he was still on the pitch, and he's provided yet another assist to add to a tally. And of course, Michail Antonio becoming the second West Ham player to reach double figures for the season tonight.
Soufal shoots straight at Johnson. Could have been 4 there, but Soufal got it caught under his feet a little bit, and shot was straight at Johnson.
With that goal, I should also add that nobody gets to score right tonight. Rio and DL and Gnome, you were all on 2-1. You all had it bang on for a second there, but Antonio's goal means no one gets it. Closest, I suppose, Pinky, 3-0. Pretty close in the end.
Positive thinking. Positive thinking. All right?
Gnome.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, we've just come at the end of the first of 3 minutes of stoppage. So I like to announce these things. West Brom are desperately trying to sort of get something out of this now. Cross comes in, and that'll go back to Randolph, who'll keep it in and wind the clock down a few more seconds as West Brom plaintively, and even they're not really thinking that's a corner, but anyway. We've got Yarmolenko ready to come on, and then with a rueful grin on his face that says whatever it is in Ukrainian for "I know I'm only being brought on to wind the clock down for a few more seconds." And I was going to say Antonio in promising position, but gives it away there, and when he's trying to feed Lingard. So. Minute left. Well, nearly a minute left. And this is West Brom are huffing and puffing a little bit now, but it is too little, too late.
Can we, even at this late stage, does anyone feel really comfortable that?
I do actually, just for once. Normally, I'm the first to say, but I think we're more likely to get a second one in. Late one, a 4th overall than they outscore.
I would just like to point out I felt comfortable all evening.
I'm
not one of the doomsayers. One of the typical West Ham and all the rest of it. You lot need to get on the happy boat. I tell you, it's a much better place to be.
Well, I think we're all going to be on the happy boat tonight if West Ham, get the 3 points here, because this would put us 3 points clear of Tottenham and Everton. I mean, we cannot finish lower than 8th place, even if we somehow lose at home to Southampton and Everton win by several goals at Man City. Looks like Europe's pretty much in the bag, Rio.
Yep. I'm about to send one of my kids up to find my passport. I'm that confident now.
Well,
and that's the win.
There goes the final whistle, and Yarmolenko doesn't get on. Suchek's got the biggest grin on anybody's face at the moment as well, and as does Ogbonna. He's happy because he's scored. Antonio just hasn't got the energy to smile. He's just on his haunches, sort of trying to get his breath back, I think. So, well, that really sort of Wasn't classic West Ham. I thought we were bloody awful for most of the first half, but as every game's like this, getting that equaliser just before the interval was the key.
Indeed. And we'll come to that in just a minute, Gnome, if I may. Let's just do our quick post-match summary, and then we'll come to those very, very important point I think you make there. Final whistle's blown. At the Hawthorns, it's finished West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 3. West Ham back up to 6 in the Premier League, 3 points above Tottenham, 3 points above Everton, and cannot finish any lower than 8th in the Premier League, regardless of what happens in the final round of games on Sunday. The opening goal, well, before the opening goal, we had a penalty inside 2 minutes. In fact, it was 36 seconds when Michail Antonio was brought down inside the box, body checked by goalkeeper Johnson. Declan Rice hit the post from the resulting spot kick, and it was instead Albion who opened the scoring on 27 minutes. Pereira scoring direct from a corner. It looked like Souček got a touch, but the goal was awarded to the Albion player. West Ham, as has just been pointed out, we'll come to this in a minute, crucially equalising right on the cusp of half-time, the first minute of added on time, Souček turning home, a Ben Rama cross at the far post to send the teams in on level terms at the interval. We had to wait an awful long time for the second goal to come, 82 minutes in the end, when Angelo Ogbonna scored a header from a corner to put West Ham 2-1 up, and then with Albion pushing forward for an equaliser, the hammers broke again. Pablo Fornells once again involved, finding Jesse Lingard, who set up Michail Antonio, who turned the ball over the line to make it 3-1 to West Ham and send the Hammers back up to 6th place in the Premier League and on course for Europe. Gnome, what did you make of that?
Yeah, poor first half. You have a penalty saved is one thing, you miss one is another. We've said this all day. Professional footballers should be hitting the target from 12 yards. And then if the keeper pulls off a worldie, then, well, so be it. You shouldn't be hitting the post. And we then sort of really kind of lost the plot a little bit for much of that. Defended terribly that corner. And Pinky will no doubt disagree, but I don't think it was a foul, unlike the other one later on where the guy really did barge into him. He just happened to be there, and Souček and Randolph made it difficult for each other, and dreadful defending. And then we get the equaliser. Souček making up for what he's probably glad isn't going to be deemed to be an own goal, even though, I think it was. Doing well, good work from Ben Rama. It was good work from Antonio to start off that move as well, winning the ball when it looked lost, and then managing to play others in. So 1-1, and you felt a bit more optimistic. Game got a bit stretched either end. There was some West Brom had chances. There was some Keystone Cops defending. If anybody other than me remembers the Keystone Cops. Everybody sort of taking a swing at it and missing, and that sort of thing happening. And before Dawson came in with his agricultural clearance, shall we say. West Brom then sort of started to shoot themselves in the foot, blocking their own shots, which again was another comedy moment. But we went the whole 90 minutes without seeing that stat about goals from a corner. So
you did. You're right.
Yeah, we scored from a corner. Ogbonna came in late, and that will infuriate Allardyce to see somebody coming in at the far post from deep, because absolutely nobody tracked the run, and even with somebody running towards you, nobody attacked the ball. And wasn't the cleanest of headers, but it's one of those ones that if you get there, it's almost certainly going to go in. And so that put us 2-1 up, and then the icing on the cake at the end. Great interception from Fornells. Went up, seemed to have delayed things a little bit, but they were so slow in getting back that the only worry was that Antonio might make the run too early, but he didn't. Lovely ball inside from Lingard's first time shot, 3-1. Could have had another towards the end as well. Probably the score is slightly more comfortable than it was when you consider the first half. But overall, we deserved the win. And smiles on faces and much fun to be had on Sunday, let's hope.
Yeah, well, plenty of smiles around here tonight, and no doubt from everybody tuning in on YouTube. Let us know what you thought of the game. And of course, as always, one of our new things, if you've got any questions to ask the panel, to myself, Pinky, Rio, Gnome, or all of us, just fire them over to us on the YouTube chat, and we'll do our best to answer. It can be about tonight's game, about West Ham, or anything in general to do with the club. Pinky, West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 3. You said it from the start. Have a bit of patience. Stay calm. We'll get there in the end. And we did.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a strange game, Had we been there tonight, it's a game I feel there'd have been mixed comments from the supporters pouring out. It'd have been either, chuffing Nora, we made hard work of that, but, comfortable enough. Or it would have been with one slightly better bit of finishing here or there, a final ball here or there. That could have been 6-1 tonight. I actually think we were considerably better than West Brom today. I think there were 2 or 3 opportunities for us where, had Fornals been a little bit sharper, had Antonio being an inch further forward, that kind of thing. 6-1 could have been the score tonight, and it wouldn't have flattered us, actually. West Brom showed us what they were tonight. A hard-working, run around a bit, but ultimately very ordinary football team. They haven't got too much quality at all in their setup. And why would they have? What money did their owners invest in their season in the top flight? And the answer is nothing really. So they've got really what they deserved or what they could afford, which was relegation. And if people want the definition of a yo-yo club, look no further than West Bromwich Albion. But for us tonight, we got what we wanted. We got 3 points on the road, so again, another away win. So a very valuable away win for us tonight. And it means that we can turn up at the London Stadium on Sunday. It's in our hands. We can finish 6th. We will finish 6th. We are going to go into Europe. And I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan, you're going to have to sign a few more players. I mean, you could just picture him sat down in Essex in his huge house there going, what have they done? What have they done? Yeah. It's all gone wrong. I've got to buy some more players, and he'll be phoning Goldie and whinging about it and what have you. But that's a bit of reward for our supporters, because that should be us into European football proper. We should avoid Astragugu or whatever they're bloody called. And it's been a long...
Isn't it?
AstraZeneca, very good.
There's certainly a pain in the something anyway.
Well, on that note, I heard a good one yesterday where some nurses who were doing the COVID jabs called themselves the Pfizer Chiefs. Yeah, which I thought was very good.
Very good.
But no, I mean, seriously, for our long-suffering supporters who are magnificent, we follow the club up and down, the country. And in recent years, we've had limited pickings of European football. Who knows? We've now got a chance, just a chance, of playing some European football against a club we've heard of. And I really look forward to that.
Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? Well said. Well said. Rio, we say it, didn't we, on the 77th, 78th minute? It was 1-1, asking if anyone was going to nab a winner in this game. You were absolutely convinced at the time that it wouldn't end 1-1, and you were absolutely right. West Ham, in the end, winning it fairly comfortably with 2 late goals. But was it ever in doubt?
Yeah, to be honest. I pointed out in the commentary, I thought our central midfield are looking woefully unfit, woefully tired, and there was so much space opening up. I thought it was a matter of time before one team exploits it, because we had our deficiencies in the centre. West Brom were brittle at the back and were pretty wasteful in possession as well. I wasn't convinced we was going to score, and it come from a rather scrappy set piece. As we've mentioned, it wasn't a cleanly strike from Ogbonna. But again, he does it time and time again from set pieces, and it's a great asset to have. After that, dare I say it, we looked incredibly professional.
Yeah.
And we closed that game out really well. I'm absolutely delighted by the part played by Pablo Fornals in that the final goal. I've been going through the forum, been watching the game, and he's been getting some rather unfair abuse, in my opinion. And it's been quite venomous at times. But he broke up play twice, broke away, intelligently used the ball, slotted in Lingard. And I thought, out of everyone, I thought Lingard was one who held on to it too long. But he finally fed Antonio. It was a great finish by Mikel. But Fornell's part in that can't be underestimated, as can his contribution in the game. I know he missed some chances. He snatched at things a few times. But with a tired couple of more experienced players around him, he's done the work of three people tonight. And his constant harrying, his constant work rate, his tackling, his energy, it counts for a lot at this stage of the season. He played a hell of a lot of games, but he doesn't look tired at all. He looks like he's still on the verge of busting the gut for every single ball. And if he could actually finish, wouldn't be playing for us. He'd be playing for the likes of City or Barca, because that's the only thing missing from his game for me.
Yeah, had a terrific season, hasn't he? All in all, and we'll come to Pablo Fornals in just a minute. But West Ham, as we said, Gnome are back to 6th in the Premier League, back above Tottenham with only one game to go. Spurs, of course, have to go to Leicester, or have to play Leicester this weekend. Are they home or away? I'm not sure, but anyway, they do have to play Leicester. Everton have to go to Manchester City. Two very tough games. West Ham at home to Southampton, and we know 1 point now. Just 1 point will be enough to secure 6th spot in the Premier League this season. It's been a fantastic season. You know, at one stage we thought we might get into the Champions League, but a top 6 finish, given where we were this time last season, is an absolutely incredible performance, you'd have to say.
You think it would be an achievement that the TV companies might want to at least look at, but for some unknown reason, the channel that Sky have had the West Ham game on, has finished the West Ham game on, and they've said, right, let's go back to Turf Moor and talk about Liverpool.
Okay.
Who, frankly, shouldn't even be in the Premier League, you know, from what they've done. Not just this season, but yeah, their past demeanours. Both channels. Nothing about us. Like, yeah, West Brom 1, West Ham 3. Let's interview Nat Phillips. Why? You've got your own bloody channel to do that. Yeah. Channel 401, you know, football for the hard of thinking. Watch it on there. Let's hear some analysis, some in-depth talk about our game. And
there you go. Gnome clearly fuming about the Liverpool.
You know, you know.
Anyway, forget them. Let's
West Brom v West Ham. You know.
Come on, come back to us. Look, we're 6th in the table. 1 point needed for Europe.
Yeah, it's great.
What a season! What a season!
Yeah, it's great. We've done it pretty much honestly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, where would Liverpool be without all those penalties given? For Salah throwing himself to the floor.
Mm.
Yeah, one thing you can say about us is that we're a pretty honest team. You know, we I mean, you know, even today we've won a game 3-1. You know, we're against a team that should have been down to 10 men after a minute. You know, we certainly don't get the rub of the green that yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm really annoyed about that. There's no reason for it. If there was only one channel showing football, you know, then, you know, okay, yeah, we need to cover this. But you know, if not, you've got a whole other channel there that you had it on already.
Well, there you go. No, I'm absolutely furious.
Yeah.
So the Sky, you know, this is the way it goes.
Club in the country are being feted as if there's something special, when you know they've dumped all over the rest of the league, and scraped their way into a position where they'll end up in the Champions League one way or another. You know, thanks to gloriously dreadful refereeing, and
all right,
you know, and we're supposed to back this up.
All right. Well, look, that's enough about Liverpool. Let's leave them to it, and we're going to enjoy our victory. It's been another away win for the Hammers, Pinky. It's an 18th win of the season. 18 wins, 8 draws, 11 defeats. Fantastic stuff. Are we going to slip up on Sunday? Do you see any problems now? Southampton for West Ham, Leicester for Tottenham, Man City for Everton. Are we pretty much there now?
Do I see any problems on Sunday? Yeah. How I'll actually get to focus on the pitch after sinking a double gallon of Heineken before kickoff, because that'll be my first visit to any establishment that's selling beer, and I am going to overindulge magnificently. But in terms of the game itself, I see no problems against Saints. They'll give us a game. Of course they'll give us a game. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we have something to play for and they have nothing to play for. And that really ought to be the difference. So I think we'll win on Sunday. It's nice that it's in our hands, because ultimately that's what you want at this stage of the season.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Leicester, who have still got an outside chance at the Champions League. You know, Roy Hodgson's last game as a football manager, you know, maybe one or two of his players, you'd like to think they might try and do something for him. Palace against Liverpool. You know, Brendan Rodgers' mob against, you know, Ryan Mason's Tottenham. You know, you'd like to think that Leicester would put Spurs to the sword. And you know, so there's something on their games. For us, let's just do our job. 2-0, I'll take all day long. A competent professional performance. And for the first time in a very long time, a thoroughly deserved lap of honour for our players on the final day of the season, and give them a round of applause. And because I think the players, manager and coaching staff have done very well for us this year. You know, let's not kid ourselves. You know, David Moyes has absolutely dug David Sullivan out of a massive hole here, because the club yet again has got financial problems. And just never mind Europe, just the fact that we're finishing probably 7 or 8 places above where the chairman would budget is a massive difference. You know, that's 15, 16, 17 million pounds minimum back in the pot that normally wouldn't be there. Yeah. You know, and probably doesn't deserve to be there based on the investment levels we've got. So, you know, the irony of it really, when you consider how shamefully Moyes was treated by David Sullivan. You know, Moyes has done a superb professional job here. The players have backed him up. 1 or 2, to be fair, of Manuel Pellegrini's signings have come good. Fornals I'm a big fan of, for certain. Yep. Let's not forget that it was Pellegrini that signed Lucas Fabianski as well, who, when he's fit, he's done well for us. So,
okay, all right,
good season. No bear pits on Sunday. 2-0. Enjoy the afternoon, those that are going.
Okay, I'm going to ask Gnome and Rio about that as well in just a minute, but I do have to disappear very quickly. So what I'm going to do is just go over to Rio. Rio, if you can you give us a bit of a roundup from the KUMB.com forum? Let's see what. I would imagine everyone's jubilant after that, but try and stretch it out for a bit, and I'll be back as quick as possible.
Well,
over
I've got
to you,
some
buddy.
stuff to say about Tottenham when you run out of stuff, Rio.
Fire away.
Right, then just bear with me, just a couple of seconds while I bring up my screenshots.
Well, do you want me to? I've just got a couple of news items to relay. I've changed over to Sky Sports News because I'm fed up with the Liverpool loving, which they are at least acknowledging there were other games going ahead this evening. And I've just watching the goals from the Villa Spurs game. Villa's equaliser was the funniest comedy own goal you'll ever see. Reguilon slicing it from the edge of his own penalty area. Devastating finish past Luke Lloris. Brilliant. The other bit of breaking news is following our game, it's also been announced that Allardyce has confirmed he's not staying on at West Brom. So not really a surprise there, I think. So that's just come up on the breaking news thing. So there, all yours, Rio, if you're ready, mate.
Right, so to put it this way, everyone who's watching, if you want a little bit of entertainment, go back to the match thread on the KUMB. You will see how can I put it? A lot of mood swings, shall we say. Each one of our 4 players has come in for some absolute terrible abuse tonight. Antonio for his lack of touch. Lingard for being, as someone quoted, just a more expensive version of Luke Chadwick. Pablo Fornals has been given dog's abuse for his lack of composure in front of goal, amongst other things. So, but as soon as the final whistle was blown, it's all kind of changed and everyone's gone back to happy mode. I'm just trying to find a moment because this rather caught me unawares. So just bear with me one second.
While you're there, Greg, I'm just saying that I've just seen the goals from the Spurs game.
Yeah.
It is worth a watch. Just make sure you got your incontinence trousers on, because the Villa equaliser is the funniest own goal you'll ever see.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I maintain it was a great finish.
Yeah,
I mean, I actually watched that game in the hotel, bar area. And I just leapt out of my seat when that went in. I thought, just applauded. A great finish is a great finish, and I'd like to think that Tottenham Hotspur supporters would see it as that. You muppets.
I still think it's only the second best own goal.
I'm trying to think of a better one. A devastating finish.
Lee Dixon did one in the early 90s where I think he chipped David Seaman from about 30 yards. So I've always got that as a really fond memory of mine. Obviously, the Jamie Pollock one was good, but Regulon it's definitely up there, but it's not quite Lee Dixon territory.
I look forward to seeing that.
The other news, Graham. The other news that happened whilst you were disappearing for a minute, quote, is that Allardyce has announced he's leaving West Brom after next week.
I'm just reading the comments on the YouTube chat, and I've just seen John Harrington point out. He says that so Allardyce still hasn't been relegated. He doesn't have the bottle to go down. Any immediate thoughts on that one, Pinky? Allardyce's resignation?
No surprise, really, when you consider the rumoured deal that he was on when he went to West Brom. I think he stood to gain something like 10 million quid if they stayed up and finished in a particular position. I mean, dare I say it, he took the job for the wrong reasons, if that was the reason he took the job. I think after his very brief stint as England manager, I think that really should have been it for Big Sam. I'm not in the camp of hating Sam Allardyce. I think he's a typical football manager, and he's managed plenty of games and he's very experienced.
Yeah.
But I think every manager does eventually have their day. And we've seen Roy Hodgson hang up his boots now. I think Allardyce, that's probably the end for Sam. Time to hang up his boots. And increasingly, it's a game for, shall we say, managers in the sort of 40 to 55 bracket. I wouldn't actually be surprised to see the likes of Carlo Ancelotti hang up his boots in the not too distant future. But I just do question one or two club chairmen who are not particularly thoughtful when they're selecting their managers. I think there's a few getting massive contracts on a money for old rope basis that club chairmen might just want to reflect upon when they sit there and go, we haven't got any money, where's it all gone wrong? Well, how about your own personal decision making, Mr. Chairman? Because plenty of them get it horribly wrong. And Sam Allardyce, why did they ever really appoint him at West Brom?
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a lazy move, didn't it, at the time?
Yeah.
But I think you're probably right. I mean, I think what is he now? 66, I think, Big Sam. Only 7 years younger than Hodgson, who's packed up, of course, or will be packing up this weekend. And yeah, I think you're right. I think it's very difficult to see a way back for Sam. And you kind of wonder if he's got the same hunger anyway. He hasn't looked, I mean, even at West Ham, you remember. He often looked very animated on the sidelines. I haven't seen that this year. Really not seen that sort of passion and almost venom sometimes when he's arguing with referees. It's just not been there this season, and you just wonder if he's been going through the motions to a degree.
Absolutely, and dare I say it, stealing a living, because he peaked in the England job. By his definition and what he wanted to achieve. the establishment gave him the top job in English football. And yeah, it all went horribly wrong, predictably quickly, and all the rest of it. But that wouldn't matter to Sam because somebody at the FA said, "We want you to be England manager."
Yeah,
that was it. That was the moment for him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, as I say, he's a good professional manager for many years. I think those years are behind him now because of hunger, desire. Do you really want it? And I think some chairmen get lazy. I think one or two managers get lazy. And I'd like to see almost like club chairmen get to the point where they say, do you know what? There are good managers out there at a whole range of clubs. And just looking down the Premier League, how few English managers there are in the Premier League now, how few British managers there are. I'm not particularly happy about that, if I'm being honest. I'd like to see one or two managers from our domestic game be given either a chance or a sensible budget, because you look at it, it's the clubs with no budget, little chance, generally get the British managers. And that is a little bit out of the Sam Allardyce playbook, but there is an element of truth in it. And you know, when did the Germans invent football, or when did the French invent football and all the rest of it? I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
No, I'm with you, but I mean, I guess it's hardly a new phenomenon either, is it? I mean, I recall some years ago, I think Gary Johnson, you may remember, was coming through at Bristol City, was doing a phenomenal job at 2 or 3 clubs, and you were thinking, no, he's going to get the step up. Danny Cowley doing a fantastic job, you know, in the lower leagues. Huddersfield was the best, you know, he's had so far. You do just fear for, you know, British managers. You do kind of wonder if anyone knows the game, the English game, it's English managers or British managers, and you do kind of wonder why they're not being given the opportunity. I guess it's in vogue, isn't it, at the moment for foreign managers to be given an opportunity. But as clubs like West Ham have seen, it doesn't always work out.
But it's why, you know, almost at the top of the show, you know, I gave the little round of applause for Dean Smith at Aston Villa. You know, Villa could have panicked at the end of last season, axed him, you know, but they stuck with him, allowed him to spend, to be fair, quite a lot of money in you know, for that club. And they've had a fairly decent season this year. And that's quite encouraging for me, you know. So a slightly different face in the top flight. But you know, Sam, I think that's it. It's got to be, hasn't it?
I think you're right. I think his race is run. But
interesting
to note, actually. Sorry, no, I was just going to say very quickly about Dean Smith. It's interesting to note that there's been quite a lot of criticism of him from Villa fans over the past few weeks, because they were flying, weren't they, at the start of the season, and you know they've sort of not been able to keep up with that. But it's an absolutely correct point you make, is that British managers don't get the opportunities, and it almost seems that we as fans are quicker to get on the back of British managers. I think, you know, even Pellegrini, it took a while for fans to come round to the point of view that, you know, his time was done. And I don't know. It's an interesting one, but yes.
I just always take the view that the budget that a manager is given makes a massive difference. Now, some managers are capable of helping themselves in that sense by selling players, developing players, and you know, reaping the rewards of that. But it's no coincidence that if you look at the league table, where most of the English managers are working, they're in the clubs with very limited budgets. And where most of the foreign managers are, they're in the clubs with rather more generous budgets. And, you know, without going too much and bashing Pep Guardiola, could he do it at Rochdale? Could he?
We'll never know. You know? Well, that's the thing. We'll never know, will we? We'll never get the opportunity. But yeah, it's an interesting argument, of course, and something that is a problem. Gnome, I'll come to you very, very briefly. Sorry for Rio. Did we finish the summary from the forum, or was there a few more to come?
There wasn't a lot to actually talk about, because people are still in the celebratory mode and the slagging off mode. So I'm waiting for more erudite comments to come through.
Okay, well, we'll wait for those more reasoned posts and perhaps come back to you in a little while. Gnome, do we have some thoughts
from... They're going to Antonio, so do you want to come back to me in a minute?
All right, buddy. Yeah, no worries.
Managers, but
no worries. Well, we'll have a quick look at we haven't looked at westbrom.com, the Albion forum, since half time. Pinky has been keeping an eye on that for us just to see. I mean, it's going to be desperate over there, I'm sure, and we don't want to wallow in their misery. But all right, go on then. Perhaps for just a few seconds.
I was going to say, who doesn't? Yeah, who doesn't? So here's a very fair post here. From Tea Tree 30. We nearly always concede 2. Our defenders are nowhere near good enough for the EPL. Can I just encourage people to stop using EPL? Yeah, this is nonsense. Yeah. Anyway, and he's saying he's far convinced they'll be good enough for the Championship either, and that's a common theme throughout their chat board. Is basically their defenders are getting pelters for, frankly, not been good enough. Here's another one from WBA 1996, it's probably named after the last time they won a game, but that back four is horrendous. It's average by Championship standards, and I think we'll see that again next season. Total negligence going into a Premier League campaign with this squad. And again, it's a fair point. We whinge about, our chairman and not investing particularly generously. We're not alone in that. And it just really amplifies what a fabulous achievement David Moyes has done this season to get us thus far up to 6th spot. Other comments in here, it's just those who have noticed we are fitter. Has anyone also noticed Pereira looks quicker now too? I said a while ago, if he was a yard quicker, he'd be on another level, and he does seem quicker now. That's the Allardyce effect, to be fair. But he's a player that they're going to sell because other clubs will come sniffing for him, and he will be the player that bankrolls the season in the Championship that they'll go for. So, ultimately, the Baggies fans know they were well beaten on the night. They can spot the deficiencies in their own team, and dare I say it, without being too sympathetic, this is an inherent problem in the English game now that the greedy 6 revealed in their behaviour, a month or so ago now, whereby 6 clubs want all the money and the rest of the clubs are left fighting for scraps. But it gets to the point where there is so little genuine competition. At what point do supporters of the also-rans just stop watching? And I think someone in the football hierarchy really needs to think through where the game is going in that regard. Yeah. It's just such an unbalanced competition now. What chance did West Brom have? None whatsoever.
Yeah, you see it so often, don't you? Newly promoted clubs going straight back down. It's it's seen as a success, I think, for promoted teams simply to survive in the Premier League for that first season. And it's a very very fair point you make. It's so difficult, and even with the parachute payments, I guess some clubs, the best you can really hope to do is follow clubs like Norwich, who go up and down and slowly hope to get better and become established. Villa have done it, but Villa, as Pinky pointed out, have spent 150 million just to become on a similar level to the rest of the Premier League. That's the sort of investment you need to do it. But yes, it's not just the Super League that's causing problems, that's for sure, in football at the moment. Rio, Pinky mentioned David Moyes there, and what a fantastic season that he's had. I think it's fair to say that if West Ham had finished in the top 4, he would have been a shoo-in for Manager of the Year. Looks like West Ham, we're a point away from finishing in the top 6. Do you think he's still got a good shout for that?
Yeah, given the budgetary constraints, given the thinness of our squad, I can't see why anyone else would finish above him in that particular category. He's done an absolute miraculous job here. And particularly, you're taking also factoring our first 2 or 3 games, we didn't particularly start well, did we? Newcastle was shocking at home. We improved slightly, but those first 2 or 3 games, we were languishing near the bottom. And to rise to the lofty heights that we have, and to still be with a shout of like Champions League football 2 games ago, he's had nothing to work with. He's not had the millions of pounds that Tuchel had. He's not had the millions of pounds that Guardiola had. He's outshone his contemporaries at Tottenham, Arsenal, and Liverpool most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he not be the manager he had for the Premier League? It'd be farcical if he didn't get it for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. He hopefully has been speaking. Moyes has hopefully been speaking to Sky Sports. Michael Antonio has. Where are we on the post matches?
Yeah, I didn't quite get most of what Antonio said, but it was sort of standard stuff. It was glad to get the 3 points. We'd heard that Tottenham had lost, so we knew that we had a chance to do something this evening, that sort of thing. I'm just going to shed a bit more light, because there are some quotes on Allardyce, since we're talking managers and stuff. Allardyce's comment was that West Brom made him a very generous offer to stay, but the way he's looking at it is that if he gets them promoted next season, then he'd be expected to stay on another season after that, which was not a commitment that he was willing to enter into at this stage of his career, quote, and that he thinks they needed a sort of young, ambitious manager to take them forward. So that was his comment on that. Okay. And it's funny what you're saying about managers and how they handle budgets and that sort of thing. And when comparing managers, I like to go back to the 80s. And whenever a Liverpool supporter starts getting sort of gobby about how great Paisley was, for example, I'll say, well, yeah. I said, if you put Brian Clough in charge of that team, would he have won it? Yeah. Would he have won what they did? Probably. If you put Paisley in charge of Nottingham Forest, would he have won it? No. Not a hope. And I wasn't a great fan of Clough as a person, but, in terms of getting the best out of what you've got there, Clough was a master at it. And you get some managers like that are inspirational. Look at what did Clough had. Clough had little more than what West Brom had out there today. Yeah, a few signings at the end. He spent what was then big on Trevor Francis. But, by that time, they were fairly well established as a trophy-winning team. He got the likes of John Robertson, who smoked 40 fags a day, sort of turned him into a world-binging winger. Turned Kenny Burns into a decent centre-half when he'd been Birmingham and everywhere else. He'd been a little more than just a thug, really, money spent in key positions. Yeah, Shilton wasn't cheap. And in fact, when things weren't going well for Forest, they effectively had to pay Shilton to go to get him off the wage bill. But it's interesting how you could give two different managers identical resources and how they sort of dealt with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've moved off from Sky Sports Liverpool, which seems to be the first three channels that they've got, onto Sky Sports News.
Nothing from
not at the moment. They are going to grounds and talking to people as they go through, and they're showing sort of goals from the other matches. I haven't seen ours on it yet, but it was quite funny watching Harry Kane walking around with the top supporters there with their homemade posters saying, "You're our favourite player. Please don't go." Well, that'll work, won't it?
It worked for us with Andy Carroll, didn't it? Once. Not sure that was a good thing, but it's not been a good season for Spurs, has it? Fallen, especially it's been an even worse night for them tonight. Fallen below.
It's been a good season for us. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's what
certainly has.
What I've said all season. If at the end, if at the end of the day, a good season for us, at the end of the season, we then turn around and say, oh, by the way, we finished Spurs, well, icing on the cake. But no, I'm more concerned about how we do than how badly Tottenham do. Funny though that is, and it's always nice to have a laugh. Yeah.
There's a lovely picture on social media. If anyone's on Twitter, Declan Rice has posted a picture of him and Vladdy Soufal in the change room, both with their thumbs up, huge smiles on their face. Declan posting, I bet that was stressful to watch, Hammers fans. A massive win. Now we have one last push Sunday. Let's go. Brilliant photo, both with huge smiles on their face. They know they're almost there. What a fantastic job they've done this season. Let's talk about those two briefly. We're going to wrap up fairly soon because it is time is pushing on. Rio, Vladimir Soufal came in, cheap signing, didn't know no one. I don't think it's fair to say it. No, none of us knew anything about him really. One of the best right backs in the Premier League for you this season, if not the best.
He's definitely in the top 2 or 3 for me. Absolute value. What I love about him is his wholehearted nature. He's never beaten. He didn't have his greatest game tonight. Again, a couple of people on the forum were commenting it's the worst they've seen him play. But his non-stop energy, his non-stop work rate, he's tough as anything. If fans were allowed in the stadium this season, he would have cemented himself as an absolute West Ham favourite already, because he embodies what we love to see over there. It's that kind of Billy Bond spirit. Now, never say die. Work your heart out for the team. Give everything. Don't leave nothing on the pitch. And always missing is a goal. But as I've said a couple of times before, I'm glad he hasn't scored yet, because I'd love to see it in person, because I think the whole ground would absolutely erupt, because he's already cemented himself in such a short amount of time as a firm favourite, and we've not even got to see him in person yet. When that happens, when he starts feeding off the crowd, I think we'll see an even more improved player.
Yes, good stuff. Good stuff. Declan Rice, Pinky had the worst possible start to the game tonight, but interestingly, he's also taken to social media to comment on that, to say penalty practice for me tomorrow. You score some, you miss some. That's football. And Michael Antonio has said in response, 100% the gaffer wanted Declan to take it. He's taken it today. It seems like someone else needs to step up next week. But that aside, Declan Rice, what a season he's had. What a season. Is he now, is it fair to say he's one of the first names on Gareth Southgate's England team sheet, as well as David Moyes'?
No. He's the first name. Mm-hmm. Because he's a player that you can actually then start to say, right, I'm now building my foundations on solid ground. Yeah, so it's more about the role he does for the team and the position that he plays, and that's what a manager would want, someone in that position. Harry Kane's always going to be up there as well, but dare I say it, I wouldn't go into the Euros with Harry Kane personally.
Yeah,
because he's a player that you end up playing the Harry Kane way, and the problem comes is when Harry Kane gets injured, as is quite likely, and he's picking up a lot of injuries. Then what do you do? But for Declan Rice, he's had a brilliant season. He's come on leaps and bounds, and I think back to when he made his debut. I think it was Slaven Bilic. It could have been that gave him his debut. We were away at Burnley, if memory serves me right, and he came on. As a young player, I thought he was carrying a little bit of timber at the time, because you look at players and you forget sometimes in their sort of late teens, they do carry a little bit because they're not fully developed into men. Yeah. But he has blossomed into a first-class footballer, uses both feet well, is confident at passing the ball, great timing on challenges. We saw great examples of that last week where the opposition's defensive midfielder was making lunges that was getting him, yellow carded. Rice, on the other hand, was nicking the ball off players' toes and saying, "Thank you very much." Declan is 100% a top draw footballer, and you're looking at that top 6, 5-6 clubs. Well, we're top 6, so there's 5 clubs in England that you could say, well, you could go to for footballing reasons. Of those, who could afford him? Actually, COVID might just have done West Ham United a huge favour, because our chairman would have to be daft to sell him anyway. That's the first point. But surely even David Sullivan realises that if he sells Declan Rice, you know, if he didn't know by now, he's already done as our chairman. He absolutely will know the moment he goes to sell Declan Rice. And short of Declan putting in a transfer request saying, I refuse to play for West Ham ever again, which I just cannot imagine him doing, yeah, then, you know, the problem lies with the chairman, you know, and if the chairman's smart, he will be thinking, how do I get the money together so we can build a squad to complement Declan Rice and build a team around him and say that's West Ham United for the next 10 years? Because, I you know, it's much of a muchness above us now. You know, let's be honest. This isn't the Manchester United of the Fergie Pomp years. You know, Leicester City, well, yeah, they're fine, but do you know what? They ain't all that really.
No, and they're not going to make the Champions League next year by the looks of things.
Yeah, by the looks of things.
Tonight.
You know, Liverpool, you know, you say, yeah, Rice would be a nailed-on replacement for Henderson and all the rest of it, but do you know what? Maybe Declan just would prefer to be the brightest star in a slightly darker constellation. And you know, maybe that's his destiny. I'd like to think it is, but I certainly want to see the chairman throw out all the signals that say, we're going to bust a gut to keep you, and the best way to keep you is to sign some players around you that are worthy of your, you know, being in the same team. You know, so let's go and get a really good striker. Let's go and get a really good centre-back. Let's go and get a really good goalkeeper. And, you know, the chairman can sit there and say, I haven't got any money, I haven't got any money. Well, do you know what? One way to get money is stick an ad in the paper and say, if you want to invest in West Ham, invest in West Ham, and actually, I'll give you some shares in exchange for you putting money into the club in terms of transfer funds. Because this whole idea that you know, we can't get investors, we can't get them because nobody wants to give David Sullivan £500 million to walk away, make himself even richer. But he could get more creative about trying to raise funds for players. Because if we don't do that, what's the point? What are we doing? So Rice, for me, you build the team around Rice. Unsellable. He's priceless.
Okay. Interestingly, David Moyes has just been commenting. He's now in his post-match press conference and asked about, I think Gnome mentioned earlier that he'd made that comment in his pre-match presser about not having much of a war chest this summer. He was asked about it again tonight after the game and simply replied, if we do need a bigger squad and we don't have the money, we'll just have to find cheaper players. Easy as that. But interesting comments. Gnome, I was going to ask you.
I am available.
Yes. A big striker. Give it to the big lad up front. Gnome, I was going to ask you about Declan Rice. Will he stay at West Ham this summer for at least one more year now? It looks like European qualification is on the cards.
I think he will, but it's got to be heavily caveated with. I put it this way: I don't think he'd mind. However, at some stage this summer, somebody's going to come in with a bid that will tempt Sullivan. Now, you asked us this question. One of the guys on the YouTube channel, I think, last time we were on, asked the question, would we take, I can't remember the figure for Declan Rice, and you know, we were all adamant that we wouldn't. However, we're not pulling the purse strings. And if you've got someone who's got no compunction about charging interest on his loans to the football club that he owns, then you've got somebody who is always going to be having one eye on the balance sheet and the bank balance and his balance sheet and his bank balance. And if a big enough bid comes in, then, you know, I'm not entirely sure how big it'd have to be before Sullivan to get the pound signs in his eyes.
Well, that's an interesting point, actually. Gnome, how much do you think would it require to tempt him? The figure we spoke about last week was 80 million, wasn't it? Which was the suggestion, but we think it needs to be more than that.
I don't know what the figure would be, and in the current climate with clubs' incomes, not being what they are, not being what they were, shall we say. You know, I don't know what a, you know, all bets are off at the moment. You can't really judge what a sort of market value is. But what I would say is that the figure that would tempt Sullivan is going to be significantly lower than the one that would tempt me. And yeah, we've said it before. Every time we get in a good position over the years, we've been hampered by not being able to go that one step further by being able to invest properly in the team going forward.
Yeah.
You know, the reason we're sixth and not fourth at the moment is because A, a lack of investment, and B, what investment there was arguably put in the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we needed a striker. Antonio's done a fine job, but he's not been fit all season. Haller was the right player at the wrong time, if you like, for the way we played. So we had no backup striker. Declan Rice gets injured, our form drops, because no team in the country wouldn't miss Declan Rice if he were injured and a regular in there. So, and we've, you know, what we had, we were having to press. I mean, Noble did a decent job when it came to it in the end, but, you know, you're having a look at your sort of mid-30s skipper who's on his own admission is having one last season next year. And, you know, that's not depth, is it? I mean, it really isn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's, as I say, it's nothing we haven't said all season. And, you know, okay, you can sit down and say, yeah, it's all easy for you to sit and invest somebody else's money. But that's the photograph.
There you go. There's the picture from the changing room. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, having said that is okay. Well, you know, you keep continually saying that you've got no money, and okay, we respect that. Yeah, I mean, you're richer than I am, but all things are relative. And in terms of football management, I mean, it's often football ownership. It's often been said the only way to make a small fortune owning a football club is start with a big one. But if that's the case, why not sound out people, as Pinky said, either to invest or to sell outright? People who have got that sort of cash to. I mean, I don't mean sell out to a country, you know, the Emirates or Saudi Arabia or whatever, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's got to be some. Yeah, if you can't invest enough to take us to the next level, well, thanks very much for what you've done. Sell up. There must be somebody who's willing to actually do that. But every time the subject gets raised, all we hear is, "No, I plan on sort of keeping this, and my offspring are going to. It's a family heirloom. I'm going to pass it on to my offspring," and yeah, which doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, does it? Let's be honest.
No, not at all. It's funny, we haven't heard a lot of that lately, though, have we? It's all gone very quiet from the boardroom, and maybe they know they're onto a good thing at the moment, or maybe they're just battening down the hatches ahead of what's going to come on Sunday. Who knows? Or following the summer.
I mean, the end of this season, if you're looking at thinking about selling, then you know this would have. You're probably getting to the point where it's going to be the best time. In years to sell the club.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but firstly, the sort of profit share thing with the London Development Corporation, that's about to expire, isn't it? I don't know exactly when. Pinky will probably remember better than I. But the idea of you having to pay a percentage of the profit you make on the sale of the club is about to disappear.
2023, isn't it? It's
is it that,
I think the end of the season.
I
think it's another 2 years. Yeah.
Or is it a sliding thing? So, but at the moment, if you were to sell now, you'd get a lot more than you would have done probably 12 months ago, simply because the players have actually increased the value of the club for you by the way they've played. Yeah, it's not nothing you've done. Nothing the owners have done as such, is it? It's all down to the manager and the players who basically played out their skins this season.
Yeah.
You know, there's not one person out there tonight that, you know, people have good games, people have bad games, but whereas sometimes you've watched the game, you thought, well, he doesn't give a monkeys about what he's doing. You know, there isn't one player out there today that you would say that of.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the fundamental issues we have here, Rice is our best player, but he plays in a position that doesn't command a very significant fee. There's a lot of players that can do a similar job to what Declan does at club level, and clubs won't spend the money that we think Declan is worth on that position. It's not about the player, it's the position. Yeah. Because, you know, you don't expect the player in that position to score many goals for you. And we said earlier in the programme,
not taking penalties like that, you don't.
Yeah, but you know, you go back to the days when David Sullivan was negotiating Rob Green's contract, and Rob Green wanted a certain amount of money. I think it's 40 grand a week or something like that. And David Sullivan held firm because he just took the view, you know, you're not going to spend your budget in that part of the pitch for whatever reason. And you know, before they bought West Ham United, Sullivan and Gold looked at the books of something like 35 other clubs, and they did it with great detail to see what other clubs were spending on player contracts in different parts of the pitch. So these are not, you know, necessarily two naive, bumbling old fools. They have their own methodology, they have their way of working, and other clubs have theirs as well. But the long and the short of it is, if you actually looked up in any one of the sort of usual indices that give valuations on players, and I've just done it here tonight, yeah, Rice is going for 40 or 50 million euros. So what is David Moyes going to do with 40 million euros? Nothing. You know, so this idea that we're going to get 80, 90, 100 million for him, it's not going to happen, because clubs won't spend that money. The clubs that have got the money won't spend it on that position. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the difficulty we've got as a club is Rice would be a relatively low transfer fee, because clubs just take the view we don't need to pay more than that. And that's where David Sullivan's got a real problem. He needs to get some money into our club, because the only way he will keep Rice is by building a better team around him. Otherwise, we'll be dead in the water, and we won't be getting the massive transfer fee. That I can pretty much guarantee you.
Okay. If you're listening to the debate, let us know what you think. Do you think Declan Rice will stay at West Ham beyond the summer, regardless of whether we qualify for the Europa League? It looks like the Hammers are pretty much there now. It's going to take a very strange set of results on Sunday for the Hammers not to do that. But yeah, let us know what you think. And carrying on from last week's question, if you were, you know, if we were going to sell Rice, how much would you view as an acceptable figure? Let us know in the comments on YouTube. We are coming to the end of tonight's broadcast. We're just about an hour since the final whistle was blown at the Hawthorns, where West Ham secured a 3-1 win against relegated West Brom. What we haven't done again, and we've left it right to the last minute, is our Man of the Match awards. So we've had plenty of time to think about it. Rio, I'll come to you first, buddy. Who stood out for you tonight? Anyone in particular? Anyone particularly deserving of that award?
For me, it was Pablo Fornals again.
Okay.
I touched on it earlier, but alongside two rather tired players, one coming back from injury, one who's suffering from a very long season, he's done tireless work tonight. He played some very cute through balls at times. His part in the third goal was just... it typified his performance all round. Harrying the forward, winning the ball, feeding it really intelligently into Lingard, and the goal stemmed from that. So, yeah, for his all-round work rate and generally being a nuisance, Pablo Fornals.
Okay, good stuff. Fornals for Rio. Gnome, man of the match tonight?
Yeah, I'll give it Fornals as well. I was going to anyway. Just for... Again, it's that work rate. Yeah, we said earlier on, I think during the game, that sometimes we'd like to see a little bit more composure from him in that final third of the box. There were a couple of times where he sort of put shots in that were easily blocked, where there were maybe better decisions to be had there. But you know, I mentioned at the time there was a corner at West Brom got that wasn't, but the man chasing back who it was deep would come off was Fornals, helping out Cresswell there. Going forward, that final goal, again, it was getting in there, coming away with the ball. Yeah, not much more to say, really. Give it to him, yeah.
Excellent. 4-0 so far. Pinky, is it going to be a 4-0 threesome?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, he's a player I like because he runs. He runs around. Yeah. You know, he puts some effort in. And this evening, he covered every blade of grass, worked incredibly hard for the team. You know, he's a selfless player, really. Yes, he's got his faults. But, you know, pretty much every West Ham United supporter I know, the first thing they want to see from any of our players is one of two things. You've either got to be so brilliant that you don't have to move because you can do it with one swing of the foot and the whole crowd just goes genius. And we've had a couple of those over the years, yeah? Or you've got to work your socks off. That's it. They're the only two criteria. Work hard or be bloody marvellous. And Pablo Fornals works hard. And tonight, I think he worked harder than any player we've got. I thought he made some vital contributions in tonight's game. Yeah, and a worthy man of the match. Just, you know, and he even argued with the ref at one point, you know, which I'm willing to bet his mum sent him a text saying, please don't do that, son. Yeah, but there you go. You can't have everything, can you?
All right. Pablo 4-0 for Rio, Gnome and Pinky. Just before we come to my nomination, just a couple of comments made me laugh on the chat there. Hobo saying that I've just seen Villa's equaliser at Spurs. Must not laugh, laughs.
No, you must laugh.
Chris Dolby, an slightly intriguing post says, oh, thank you so much, Michael Antonio. Allardyce has just thrown his toys out of the pram over Antonio's comments. That is better than the win. Chris, let us know exactly what Big Sam said, if you will, because none of us have had the chance to see it, or if anyone has seen it, can let us know. My man of the match, Pablo Fornals, is an obvious standout contender. But I'm going to try and vary up a little bit. We've had three nominations for the Spaniard already. I thought Angelo Ogbonna had a really good game at the back and, of course, stepped up to score a really, really important goal for the Hammers. But I think I'm going to give it to Darren Randolph tonight, you know. We thought he'd made a complete balls up for the first goal, but, you know, he was obviously unsighted by Souček. I made a bit of a joke about a punch he made early in the first half, but you know, it ended up setting up a decent chance. And there was a point in the game where it was level at 1-1, and 30, and just after, actually it was 1-0. It was 1-0. Pereira had scored the opening goal in the 27th minute, and then 7 minutes later, there was a deflected shot that came at Randolph like an exocet, and he swiveled on his hips to tip it over the bar. You know, gave us the opportunity to equalise. And there was another. I'm just looking through my notes to see exactly when it was, but 11 minutes into the second half, there was that opportunity. It might have been Robson Khan who was clean through, and Randolph spread himself low to block the ball with his body. So, you know, it could have been 2-0 if he hadn't made that first save. We could have gone 2-1 behind if he hadn't made the second. So Ogbonna and Antonio obviously got the goals that made the difference. But, you know, you kind of look back to that and think, well, if either one of those saves hadn't been made, it could have been a very, very different story indeed. And also the fact that he was thrown in at the very last minute, had no time to prepare.
They've just shown the Tottenham goal again.
Yeah, he's off. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna go and enjoy that one in a minute. But anyway, so Randolph for me. So that's 3 for Fornals and 1 for Randolph. Chris Dolby saying that Antonio mentioned Allardyce plays long ball, and apparently Allardyce went ballistic in his interview. So if you haven't seen it, go and have a look at that one. That's just about it from us tonight. It's been a fantastic night for West Ham, back to winning ways. And there's only one more game of this season. I don't want it to end this season. It's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't it? And I've also had tremendous fun with the chaps here, watching every game. It's not the same, of course, as being at the ground and being able to, you know, get involved. But it's been thoroughly enjoyable. It's been a really, really fun exercise. And we will hope to try and keep it going next year. In some capacity. watch this space, really. But going to end tonight, as always, by looking ahead to the next game. There is only one left, as I said. That's Southampton at home. West Ham's need just a point to confirm 6th spot and qualification for the Europa League. Rio, I'll come to you first. Thinking of a win, or is it going to be another nervous Super Sunday for the Hammers?
Had we had to go and actually win the game to secure this spot, I wouldn't have been confident at all. But seeing as the pressure's off a little bit, we just need to secure a point. I think we're all right. I think we'll be okay. Southampton have got a couple of very good players. It's not going to be a walkover. I mean, Dan Ings is a quality striker. I'm a massive fan of James Ward-Prowse and Stuart Armstrong in the middle. It's not going to be easy, but pressure's off a little bit. I think that point would be easily gettable.
Okay, good stuff. No, Southampton at the London Olympic Stadium in front of around 10,000 supporters on Sunday. Unfortunately, you and I won't be there, but some of us were luckier than others, weren't we? But interesting game. Before we drew 0-0 down there just after Christmas, I think it was, wasn't it? And just looking at the stats for that game, Southampton had 63% possession to our 37, so kind of played into our hands a little bit. But do you expect it to be the same sort of game Sunday? Do you think Southampton will come at us, or do you think it will be the other way round, given how well West Ham played since?
It'd probably be something similar. There's nothing on it for them, so they won't mind sort of giving it a go. I haven't seen what sort of side they're likely to put out yet, but I think it'll be something similar, and I think we'll win. I'm with Rio on that, and I also think, just to make it even funnier, I think Leicester will beat Spurs. So
that's really worked in our favour, actually, that tonight, hasn't it? Leicester or Liverpool winning, because they have to win now, Leicester, to be in with a chance.
Have any chance? Yeah. And Vardy's due a goal, isn't he? He hasn't scored for God knows how long. But anyway, as I've said, I don't really sort of care about Tottenham. You'd have to have was it Oscar Wilde or Little Dorrit? You'd have to have a heart of stone not to be laughing at Harry Kane bidding his farewell, as they've got on the screen at the moment. No, I think we'll win. We'll win, and let's have a look at the season. And it's been a good season. Yeah. Could have been better. We know why it wasn't. But under the circumstances, 6th is a remarkably good return for the season. And that's where I fully expect us to finish.
Good stuff. Quickly, before I come to Pinky, Thomas Souček's taken to social media to say it was an incredibly important 3 points tonight. We are one team, and we want to achieve our dream as one team. One game to go until the end. And Vladimir Sufal, also his compatriot, taken to Twitter to say, again, to be a member of this team is an unbelievable feeling. One more step to go, guys. Lovely to read stuff like that from professional footballers these days. You read all the cynicism, and here's two guys who are just absolutely loving every minute of being part of this team, and great to see. Pinky, Southampton Sunday, last game of the season. Can we wrap it up in style?
Well, never mind that. I mean, have you beaten Czechoslovakia? No wonder they're happy. The food's diabolical over there. The climate's rubbish. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up in style on Sunday. Comfortable 2-0 win for West Ham, and I've got no doubts at all. Most of I'm a bit of an old romantic. I actually think Mark Noble's going to be on the field for the second half on Sunday, and I can just see us getting a penalty kick and Nobes firing the ball in and showing the current captain how it's done. So I really feel that we'll have a comfortable win. You've got Saints. 43 points, a goal difference of -18. How often do we get told the league table doesn't lie when we're at the wrong end of it? Well, this time around, we're near the right end of it. And for my money, just picture this. We win on Sunday and Leicester, draw, and Liverpool draw. And we will have missed out on the Champions League by 1 win. There you go. Still, there you go, Mr. Chairman. You've kept the money in the bank. Just think what might have been. but we're winning Sunday.
Good stuff. Well, that's confidence. There you go, Pinky. There's the confidence we were looking for earlier in the evening. Everyone predicting a win for Sunday. Apparently, Sam Allardyce says he's come out in his interview and he said it's disgusting what Michail Antonio said. Liverpool were dead lucky to beat us, talking about his direct method of football. Never going to leave him, that one, is it? It's dogged him all his career, and it's never going to leave him. But I'm sure that that one will run a bit tomorrow. But that is it from us tonight. West Ham, 62 points this season. Need a point on Sunday against Southampton to break our Premier League record. 62 points achieved in the 2015-16 season under Slaven Bilic. Just one more to go to beat that. Even better than that season. West Ham in with a really, really strong chance now of finishing 6th in the table. The first time the Hammers will have finished that high in the Premier League since, Rio?
99.
Yep.
Gnome's there. Harry Redknapp, 1998. 1999, when we finished 5th, didn't we? Glenn Roeder got close with 7th a few years later. Glenn Roeder, pilloried by everyone, finished 7th. And then, of course, Slaven Bilic's team finished 7th. But, yep, top 6 finish for the first time in 22 years. Very much on the cards. Just 1 point needed. We might not need any points the way it's going, the way Tottenham and Everton are playing at the moment. But we shall see. That is it from the team. On a night when West Ham have secured yet another away win. Had to come from a goal behind tonight and missed a penalty. Could still afford to miss the penalty and score 3 goals from Thomas Souček, Angelo Ogbonna and Michail Antonio to run out 3-1 winners at the Hawthorns. It's been a fabulous night for West Ham. It's been great fun as always with you guys on YouTube. Thank you for keeping us company throughout the evening. My thanks go to my fellow teammates, to the Pink Palermo,
Yeah.
to Rio,
Come on.
and Gnome.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, gents, as always, for your company. Pinky's not going to be here on Sunday because he's going to be live at the ground. If we're lucky, we might even get hold of him at some point. Rio, did you get a ticket in the end? You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got one in the second kind of ballot.
Okay, so half of the team. It's at least myself and Gnome and DL on Sunday. Anyway, we will endeavour to get Pinky and Rio on the stream at some point for their views, whether that's during or after the game. We hope to get you guys. But as I said earlier, it's been an absolute pleasure enjoying your company throughout the season. And who knows, maybe next year we might be back from time to time and do it all over again. That's it from us. As I said, great night for West Ham. 1 more point needed for Europe. We might not need any, but let's go out in style against Southampton and win it. Until Sunday, for the last Eyes Up Mother Brown of the season. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you ones.